Trading the foreign exchange market carries high risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Trading on margin, utilizing leverage can carry an even higher level of risk that can lead to a complete loss of investment funds. So before deciding to trade the foreign exchange market or using any of our software alert products, you should carefully and diligently consider your personal investment objectives, level of experience, and risk tolerance. There is a possibility that you could potentially sustain significant loss. You should not invest any capital or trade that you cannot afford to lose. It is your responsibility to be aware of and understand all risks associated with foreign exchange trading and to seek professional advice from an independent certified financial advisor if you have any doubts. Auvoria Prime does not exercise trading authority over your trades. You and you alone exercise discretionary trading authority over every trade.
Oh yeah, we smashed it. We're at 150 participants right now, over 150. This is awesome. We just brought two of our panelists up. So I want to go over a couple of things before we go into this call today. I'm really excited, really feeling blessed to have you all here. I'm looking for my third panelist. Jackie, if you see Coach Mo in the attendees, or Mariska, if you see Coach Mo, can you bump her up as well? So I want to give you guys just the proper introduction before we do this. And before we go into anything, I really just want to go into the overall disclaimer and really make sure that everybody knows and is super clear about a few things. One of them being that anytime that you're in trading in the Forex market, there's no guarantees for anybody to make any amount of money. We're going to talk about different trades that we've taken. We're going to talk about things that we're looking for in the future. None of those things means that's going to be a direct reflection on your account. I would never recommend anybody to trade with any money that you're not afraid to lose. It provides, I tell this, like, even in general, when I'm coaching trading, that you don't want to have money in an account that you necessarily need to go pay your rent. That's not how this market works, and it will always take from you. But we don't want to ever give the impression that because you're hopping on this call today, that we're guaranteeing anybody that they're going to make money. That's not how this works. We want you guys to really learn and to pay attention to strategy, and really be able to just be a part of this and learn together as we utilize this incredible product that Mr. Nathan Williams has created for us. So I really wanted to start there. And then I wanted to go into second to say, one, I'm feeling so grateful right now for everything that is happening inside of the Auvoria Prime community. And I know that a lot of you guys may not necessarily know all the details of this amazing company it is that we have, but to be able to have a product like AIRO, to bring that on board to our marketplace. If you guys haven't seen, by the way, if you go to the Auvoria Prime website, it is a beautiful thing. We had a major upgrade, this was like about a week ago, to our products page on AP. So I think that everybody should go take a look at what it is that we have on the marketplace page inside of Auvoria Prime. It is a beautiful new setup. I'm going to actually be transitioning in a second, but I'm really excited to talk about a few things with you here today. In about 11 days, Auvoria Prime is going to be launching publicly big time with our new and upgraded compensation plan. We have some new things that we're at. Not anything, if you're already in AP, nothing's changing to the comp plan as far as what it takes to get to each rank, but there's going to be some massive incentives and a lot of information about where we're going with AIRO, how the AP TV platform is going to look. We're doing things that are so much different than any company that's out there. So what I would advise all 160 of you that are on this call with me today is that if you're looking to be able to learn more and get more value outside of this community, like I promise you, when you learn about what we're doing with AIRO, you're going to be mind blown. But you got to be at this event. It's a virtual event on January 30th. So on January 30th, we're hosting our launch virtual event. It costs $47 for you to go ahead and get your ticket. And at this event, we're going to be going into massive detail about how we're going to be taking AIRO to the next level. So what you're seeing today is not even a finished product for what it is that we have. We're going some big time places. I apologize, Rob. I get that all the time. If I'm speaking too fast, please let me know. Shoot me a message. I will slow down. I apologize. And before I introduce to you our incredible coaches, I want to say that we want to start this call off with just a moment of gratitude, with being intentional to say, okay, before we even take any trades, let's be grateful for the fact that we're here. Something that I've learned, of course, in my career is that gratitude is the seed for growth. Is the seed for growth, meaning that oftentimes you'll wake up and you'll jump right into your day. You're checking your phone, you're checking your trades, and you're so involved in what's going on that you don't take a moment to be appreciative for the fact that you are here and that you have the ability to make decisions. Because if you don't think about the fact that somebody went to sleep last night and they thought that they were going to wake up on this January 19th morning and they did not. And that's really sad. And if you walk into your day with a moment of saying, I already won because I woke up today, I already achieved something, I already have, like, you should have that dopamine hit every time you wake up to remind you, hey, whoa, it's a great thing that I got up this morning because somebody else didn't. So I'm grateful for even having this ability to do what I'm going to do today. It will change your perspective and how you look at what it is that you're doing. So, but now I'm going to get started and swing it too. a brand new educator that we have inside of this Auvoria Prime community. We have, so far, we've only really had myself and Nathan being on calls like publicly for the company when it comes to utilizing this product, AIRO. But I'll be honest with you, that this woman I'm gonna introduce to you now in a couple of minutes, Mrs. Jackie Pineda, she is incredible. And she has been trading with AIRO since the day it dropped inside of our beta test community 5 or 6 months ago. And she's been crushing it. She's actually the reason that I started to take AIRO more seriously, because when I met Nathan, Nathan was just a developer to me when I met him. And what does that mean is that when I'm talking to a developer, I expect the developer to be great with whatever product it is that they created. That does not impress me to say that somebody who created it is successful at using it. That what impressed me was that when Jackie picked it up, and then the first 48 hours that she had the product, she was blowing it up, going crazy and posting in the group chat just different things that she had seen, her own personal results using it. That really opened my eyes, and that made me actually go and reach out to Jackie and say like, whoa, like this is legit. What's going on? And now, if you guys hadn't heard of Jackie, if you haven't seen Jackie, haven't been around Jackie, her energy is infectious, and she is officially, along with Coach Mo as well, who I'm going to find here in a second, one of our new Auvoria Prime educators, and we're going to actually be doing these New York sessions now, kind of like a round table with the educators that we have available. I'll be on here pretty much every day, and we'll be able to have more value being added from people that are a part of this community and have more experience than myself. I don't personally trade indices like that, but Jackie is a professional, and that's all that she trades. So us being able to bounce back and forth along with Coach Mo, along with Nathan when he's jumping on here, is going to be able to bring massive value to what it is to the people that are listening, whether you're a part of this community today or not. I'll ask you guys two things. If you're sending any questions to us, we're going to make sure that we're going to answer them, but I need you to do it in the question and answer box, or go to make sure when you're sending a message in the chat that you're not sending it just to the panelists, that you're sending it to all attendees and the panelists. So that way, if we answer a question live, people can see that, and it gives everybody the ability to be a part of what's going on at the highest level. So Jackie, are you here?
Yes, I am, Dante. And how are you?
I'm so excited. I am so grateful for what is going on. Thank you so much for being here, Jackie. Can you let the people know just a little bit about yourself and what you see going on and how you feel about AIRO?
Oh, absolutely. So I want to say hello, everyone. Good morning. The sun is shining. I'm happy and I'm blessed to be awake today. So thank you for that inspiration you started it off with, Dante. Really appreciate that. So everybody, I've been training about 4 years. I went full time last August, and I ain't looked back. I was in the beta test group for AIRO, and I'm a little bit very particular about software. I've been trained with EAs and indicators for a long time, and my background is software testing and QA testing. So normally, me and developers don't get along because I'm always finding bugs and sending it back and all that. So I'm very particular when I test software. And when this indicator came out, at the time, it was just an indicator. It's a trading system now, but
Hmm.
when it first came out, I was like, well, he said you could do 20 pips. All right, we'll see how it is. And I started getting it, and it was very consistent. And I said, "Oh, okay, okay." And then Nate was the one that introduced me to indices. I've heard of trading with indices, but it wasn't really my thing. I was scared of US 30. Nasdaq was okay, but he introduced me to S&P 500, and I said, "Oh, this thing moves like a currency almost a little bit. I can follow the trend with this thing." That's what I do when I look at my charts. I need to be able to understand the price action of an instrument in order for me to trade it successfully. And when he presented AIRO, and mind you, by the way, the AIRO that y'all see is very different from the one we had in the beta test group. And it was just great. And I mean, it was very easy, bounce, arrow, go. And to this day, when he went live with it for everybody to be able to share this opportunity with y'all, I just found it beautiful. I feel like it's one of the best introductory systems that you can use as a beginner in trading. If you don't know nothing about trading, I think it's great, especially for forex. And then with the indices, it's a nice way to get your feet wet in it. Get your feet wet in it. And then once you do better and practice and get better at it, you're not going to look back. I do go to the forex currency fairs every now and then, but like Dante say, I'm completely on S&P 500. I normally trade just that, and I actually only do a certain amount of pips per week. I don't necessarily trade every day. I take about 1 to 2 trades a week, and then I'm
Hmm.
done, and I go about my business. That's kind of how I typically handle things.
1 to 2 trades a week. Can you break down how you got to a point to have a strategy like that? Like why do you have a trading goal? Like it's just break down why that kind of stuff is important when it comes to this, I guess, discipline in your trading. Like how did you get to that point? I'm just curious for my own lesson. I hope y'all getting value out of this because I know I am. And why do you like stop yourself? Like why not trade every day, every session that you can trade?
You know what? I actually, because greed factor started taking place. I've
Mm,
blown accounts, multiple accounts, so through the 4 years, and I've done different kinds of trading as well, stocks and binary options. I actually still do a couple of other things on the side, but the greed factor was hitting me a little bit too much. So when I was trading every day and I said, oh, I can catch 300 pips, if I trade these 6 different pairs, and yeah, I'm successful at it. But I noticed that I was not paying attention to the price action that was happening with the pairs. So what would happen is, yeah, you can catch 300 pips on a Tuesday, but then by Thursday, price starts to change, and maybe that particular strategy that I was using that would no longer work, or I would be in drawdown and I would have to find out, end up carrying trades over the weekend, and it just, and then I would start losing because maybe the trend would change. So the greed factor was what I needed to rein in. And then also, with that, when you're making a lot of money with trading, you feel like, oh, I could just keep doing it and keep doing it. And then I came to a realization just one day, and somebody had asked me, they said, well, I can't trade as often as you can. So because you do it full time. What can I do? And I said, you know what? You're right. Not everybody can trade as often as I can. So I need to find something to be able to help others trade when they can. And so that's one of the ways that I started to curtail my trading and take it back. So I said, let me start setting myself with a pip goal. So everybody know, if you don't know what pips are, pips is equals money pretty much. As price moves, it moves in pips. Normally for currency pairs, if you're looking at indices, it's called points, but they can also equal pips as well. I started setting my goal for pips, and I started showing people, why don't you just try and catch 15 pips in a day? Just try that. And the reason I got that was actually from watching somebody else on YouTube, Pipology. And they actually had a plan, and they say, just try and catch 15 pips a day. And once you start catching those 15 pips per day, what does that do? You're more successful. As you're more successful, your confidence starts to grow. And as your confidence starts to grow, your discipline starts to become more ingrained because it's a habit that's being formed. So once you start putting all those things in place, I started to become more consistently profitable. And then on top of that, because I have kids and grandkids, and I'm always busy, I found that I can't be on the lower time frames as often as I used to be as these kids get older, and especially with what COVID hit, I had to homeschool children as well. So I was like, I can't be on the 5 minute scalping as much anymore. I need to find a different way so that I can still make the money I need to make, but also don't increase my stress in making that money. So that's when I went to the higher time frames. And when I went to the higher time frames, the H1 and the H4, that's the hour and the 4 hour, they're a lot slower. But when you're following the trend and you're using a system like AIRO, I don't have any stress with my trading anymore. I just take the trade, and then I sit back, set my take profit, set my stop loss, and I go about my business for the rest of the day. I'm on this call with you guys because I want to share those strategies with you, because I tell everybody, when I started making that weekly pip goal, and I have the plan and I still use it to this day. I still have my goal. I still have a certain lot size that I use, and I don't deviate from it. Because I found that once I deviate from my trading plan and I start listening to other things that I haven't tested out thoroughly, I start to lose. So I always make sure I follow my own rules. A lot of people know me. They say, Jackie, follow your own dang rules. I do need to do that. Sometimes I don't. And then I get mad at myself and I got to go back to my trading plan. So trading plans are key to success. And now anybody will tell you all that. But the one thing is just to don't get overwhelmed, especially with AIRO. A lot of people I'm hearing, they complicate this, and you don't need to complicate AIRO. pretty much you get an alert. All you have to do is follow the rules. If you're on a 5 minute time frame, follow the rule. You on a 15, follow the rule. You on a 1 hour, follow the rules. If you follow the rules and you stay disciplined in forming that habit of following the rules, you can be successful. That's the same game plan that will happen in anything in your life, right? So why can't it just apply to trading as well?
Powerful, powerful, powerful stuff right there, Jackie. Thank you so much. I'm excited to work with you. The people should be excited. Like I've been people messing me all the time. Like Donta, I want to trade indices. I want to do a little bit more. And for me personally, because I don't trade indices often, and I didn't make I haven't had my biggest success trading indices. I never had to. I've only been really trading and focusing on the pairs for a lot of my career. That I wouldn't want to go and lead in a way for something that I haven't personally experienced with. So to have Jackie be a part of now our AP educator community is a blessing. And I can't wait for you guys to meet our other educator, Mr. Coach Mo, as well. So that's exciting. I'm going to go through, Jackie, now just the workflow of a trade that I actually took yesterday. We didn't have a session yesterday, but I saw the group chat blowing up and say that the markets were moving. I was expecting things to be slower because it was a bank holiday in the States. But hey, when I saw this, it was like, if it's in the rules, like I'm taking the trade. And that's pretty much like just a mantra that I live by. So when I was, this is probably about 10 a.m. yesterday, I forget what I was doing, but I saw Brent and then I saw like 5 other people say that GU was a valid trade. And I was like, okay, as soon as I saw them say that in group chat, I just pull out my phone and pull out my AIRO chart and go to check out GU myself. And I want you guys to ignore, hold on, let me see. So ignore all of this. This was yesterday. Now, this is what I love here about AIRO. And again, remember, guys, we have a lot of people who may have never been through any of the AIRO training before. So I want to just take this super slow and make sure everybody is clear as we wait these other 8 minutes for our next alert. All right. So how AIRO works is how the workflow of AIRO operates is that the first thing you do when you get an alert is that you maximize your screen so you get a full view of what's going on. And again, this is just on the Forex pairs from a 15-minute time frame, but you use this same strategy one across the board. This is why you can use it on stocks, you can use it on indices, you can use it on cryptos, things like that. Now those asset classes are much different and much more tough to trade than a basic Forex pair. But the point is that the strategy works. Now, what you're doing when you're zooming out is you're trying to get an overall direction of the trend. And Nate, what's incredible about AIRO is that he makes it very easy to see. See, human beings, we base things off our eyes. Like when you see something, you now have that imprinted in your head. It's much easier for you to identify or to make a decision off something that is seen much clearer. And for me, in my own trading journey, like I've seen so many people try to draw trend lines and support lines and things like that, and just not necessarily be accurate and be able to take losses. So your first thing is you want to count how many green zones versus red zones. And this is going to be super basic. For my experienced traders who know how to trade at a high level, I'm keeping it basic. Promise, stay with me. So how you do this is you count how many green zones you have versus red zones. So we got 5 green zones here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, versus 2 red zones, 1, 2. This one probably wasn't even here. We're only really talking about this section here. What I love about Nate's strategy is that he has what's called the money zone. And the money zone is this shaded area that you see right here. Good morning, Carrie. Good morning, Michael. That you see here that is shaded off. What I love about this is that it's easy to identify what's going on each day. So I say, okay, this money zone represents today. The time frame of the money zone is about 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to about 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, wherever you're at inside of the world. So what's incredible about this is that you can see easily, hey, this was yesterday. Okay, cool. This was Friday. This was that Thursday. This was Wednesday. So it's easy to identify where you're at and to be able to make decisions. So once we know that this is an uptrend because we have more green boxes than red boxes, we see this arrow here above. We see this arrow here. We see that price is above this line. This right here is your moving average. So if I'm looking for buys, when I'm in an uptrend, I'm only looking for buys. So if I'm in an uptrend, I'm not taking any sell trades when I'm sticking to the super, I said market maker's about to go crazy. I love you, Brent. So what you see here is a blessing. What you see here is it's easy. Bounce off of the zone here. You get the arrow above the moving average, and then you would enter the trade here for your 20 pips. I took this trade yesterday with a standard lot size. And again, this doesn't mean, this is not representative of anybody's account or anybody's money. This is just trading and what it means to catch 20 pips and how 20 pips for everybody is very different, you know what I mean, depending on how it is you're trading. But for me yesterday, I was able to take 20 pips and catch profit, 20 pips on this trade in like an hour, not even, and that was $200. So for me, I love AIRO because it's very, very simple. And when I saw this, I immediately took the trade. Boom, I got in and it came up and hit my 20 pips and I was out. Like that was it. It's not And the issue with AIRO is that every time that you get an alert, it's not a very, like, it's not always lined up this perfectly. So people sometimes get in trades too early, or because you want to get in the trade because you're on a session, or just because we're on this session right now doesn't mean we're going to get any live trades. Although I would love another AIRO here, and I would definitely be looking at taking GU. So it is. He said, do you take trades at 20 pips if it's in the green? Yes, I'm only trading inside the money zone. There are strategies that work outside of the money zone, but for this session, we're really just trying to capitalize on the last 4 hours of the money zone. But that's pretty much a basic workflow as far as how AIRO works. And people who don't really value or don't appreciate how catching 20 pips that easily can be, it just means you really haven't been trading long enough and need to understand that's powerful to be able to end a minute, 2 minutes, like decipher whether or not this is a good trade to take, hop in the trade, be able to win. For me personally, since I've been using AIRO on these live calls now for about a month and a half, and again, you can ask the people who've been on the live calls, we're shooting at least like 85 to 90% with the trades that we take on here, which is, again, like it's incredible to think that people who have little to no experience trading Forex can pick a system up like this easy, but then people who have higher experience of trading, like Jackie, who has been, seen other people's systems, broken other people's EAs and things like that, because of her knowledge, is very, very powerful. Let me see. So if you guys have any questions, the best way to get your question answered is to type them in the question and answer box. That way we can kind of see it and make sure that we go back to it. And if anybody on this call has made any money using AIRO, can I see some numbers in the chat? Can I see some ones in the chat? And make sure they go to all panelists and attendees, because I don't know how many people on this call are guests. I don't know how many people are vets, but I need for the people who have done this before, who have been on calls with us before, to let everybody know who's thinking like, should I even be on this call right now? Please just let them know and remind them that this has been working, that this is something that is serious. I see the bags in the chat too. I should have said put bags in the chat, but I love it. I'm very excited. So you see all these people that are plugging in. It's really just about learning the system, learning the strategy. The first thing I recommend anybody doing when you get started with AIRO is to go through the AIRO training. Is to go through the training that was created by Nate, so that way you can really see how to get everything set up with your account, and then also how to get how to really understand at least strategy one. So I think that is very, very powerful to start there. I believe all the other strategies are in a way kind of based off of the bounce AIRO go. And we're going to change the world with this back strategy.
I love it that you guys have all those currency pairs there.
Yeah, I keep my eyes on a lot. Actually, hold on, let me walk upstairs. My son just woke up and he's about to let y'all know he's up. So give me a second.
No problem. I could chat while you do that.
Appreciate you.
Yes. All righty. So everybody, I see there's a question here, and I guess I'll answer it live. If you get into a trade and it stops moving in any direction for a period of time, at what stage should you exit the trade? Well, my thoughts on that is, if you're on the M15, for example, you're scalping, right? And the trade stops moving in any direction. My question to you would be, are you following the trend? Because if you're following the trend, sometimes price does what we call retrace back, okay? But if it retraces back, it will probably still continue to follow in the trend anyway. But if you're following the rules of AIRO, no matter what time frame you're on, you should always go ahead and put in your take profit and your stop loss. And the reason why I say that is because when you have your stop loss is the risk that you are willing to lose should the trade close not in your favor. So manage your trade, not necessarily on your take profit, but on your stop loss. So if you're going to put a 40 pip stop loss, just know that, hey, if it hits that 40 pips, I'm okay with making that loss. But as long as you're following the rules and following the trend and things like that, price will continue to move in the direction that it's going. So that would be my answer to that one.
I thought that was so good, Jackie, just to say and bring up the reality that anytime I enter a trade, like I'm so comfortable with losing before I even press the button. Like as soon as I enter a trade, I think about, okay, 40 pips or whatever my stop loss is, because I could be swing trading for another strategy or whatever. I think that is very, very important to know exactly what you're risking every time before you press enter on a trade. Very important. I don't personally plan on going into the fib strategy on this call. We're going to really keep it to strategy one. But if Jackie feels like going in on fibs, it is shoot, to each his own.
I don't know if they're ready for the fib there,
I'm about to
Dante.
say, fib is another level of trading. Like you got to really understand what's going on. And we just have a lot of newbies on, so it'll be people getting lost and asking questions about things that, you know what I mean? It's we're going to have more sessions. Our next goal is to have more hours available so that we can have more sessions that are for the advanced trader. But because we're going to be sharing this all over the place, it's more efficient to keep things simple.
Yeah. Somebody asked the question of the 20 pip take profit and stop loss and the risk to reward 2 to 1. You're risking double to make half. You know what? There we get that question a lot. But here's the thing. Typically, the strategy one, the bag strategy, is on average, and I can personally talk about my results with that, and I've heard from others, over 80% winning accuracy. So for instance, if you going off of the 80% winning accuracy and you only catching 20 pips per trade, all right, you got 10 trades, right? And you win 8 of them. So you win 160 pips, right? And you got a 40 pip stop loss. So you lose 2. You lose 80 pips. You still netting 80 pips as your profit for the week, out of those 10 trades. So yes, that risk to reward ratio is a little bit different, but with the winning accuracy, it doesn't really have a factor in it. Plus, what Dante had mentioned a little bit about the fibs, there is an additional strategy once you get into AIRO and you start learning more about the strategies and kind of building your experience on it. If you start applying the Fibonacci with that, then you can actually reverse that risk to reward ratio. But you got to go ahead and get there.
And for my perspective on the risk to reward, because we get that question all the time from, you know what I mean, quote unquote traders. And shout out to Nate. And for me, most of the time, even trades that we lose, I don't really lose trades at 40 pips. Like one of 2 things usually happens. Will be an opposite zone of the other color pops up, which means that is a signal to get out of a trade. So as opposed to losing 40 pips, you might lose like 7 or 10. Or for me personally, anytime that price breaks under the moving average and opens and closes under the moving average, that's also a signal for me to close the trade early. So it's like majority of times it's going to profit, or I'm closing it before it, like it's not really going to, like to think that every trade I'm getting in, I'm going to lose 40 pips if I lose isn't really honestly a reality. It's more for the standard, for the basic person who needs to put a stop loss on every trade, because new traders absolutely need to put a stop loss on every trade. And it gives a base that'll allow room for that person to not get stopped out by a couple of wicks and win more than they're going to lose.
Excellent point.
But we definitely, that's probably the number one question. Is it $100 per 0.01? Yes, Alan, yes. He said, can we get the recording? Yeah, I think this is recorded. I hope this is recording, honestly. I think this is on the AP official channel, and we'll make sure that we get it.
I hope you know I'm just going through the questions after you answer them and getting rid of them for you.
Perfect. I appreciate you.
Teamwork make the dream work.
And if you see Coach Mo and the participants, let me know so I can bring her up.
Absolutely. I'm searching for her. I know I ain't saying nothing about no indice yet, y'all, because I'm actually in the indice trade right now. Would you like me to go over there while we wait for alerts or no?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
I'll unshare.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna share my screen real quick.
Somebody said, so is this strategy most efficient when based off having a high strike percentage, say 80% of the winners that we used to seeing? If you can get away.
It won't let me share.
It won't. Oh, there you go. We can share all panelists. Boom.
Cool. All righty. So y'all can see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, y'all gonna be like, why she got all them lines all over the place? I'm actually just gonna walk y'all through my trade. Yes, this is current trades that I'm in right now. All right, so I'm actually working through a challenge right now too. So that's why I'm in it. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show y'all bag entry off of. So what Dante was showing y'all off of the M15, it's the same thing that can be applied on the higher time frame. So don't be scared of a higher time frame, especially, but it's good if you guys like don't have a lot of time, or you work a full-time job and you can't trade, like say New York session. So you can come over to the H1 and you can still do what? A bag entry. So Dante already went through the bag entry strategy. We're gonna look at the trend, zoom out. This is This is S&P 500 that we're looking at. So this is an index. It's called US 500 cash for this particular broker that I'm on doing this challenge. But it's called S&P 500, US 500, whatever you want, SPX, USD, anything that your broker is using. That's typically the naming convention of it. All right. And S&P 500, if y'all don't know, just means Standard and Poor. All right. The 500 businesses in that index. And so we zoomed out and more green than pink. We're in an uptrend. Okay. So you're going to zoom in. I'm looking only for up arrows. I trade with the trend. So there are ways that you can kind of counter trend trade, but I don't teach that. I tell everybody just trade with the trend. You want to know why? You follow the money. Follow the money, you be fine. Okay. Follow what everybody else is doing. That's when you like the little mama duck and you got the little ducklings following behind you. That's what y'all need to do. Follow the trend.
You took that bank conductor move off the H1?
Yeah.
That's nasty. I ain't gonna. That's so nasty. I'm sorry. Like that is filthy.
Yeah, right there. There it go. Two positions actually.
Yeah, Stu sees it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I did it. I did it. So I saw the bank induction, took that, and then I took this one because of this candle formation right here. I can't remember what it's called when it goes up like that, but it's not a hammer. It's something else. It's the opposite, but it's bullish. So in case y'all don't know, bullish means going up, bearish means going down. Okay. So yes, that was a bank induction move. That is one of the strategies of AIRO. You can take a position off of it and go. And the reason why is because I'm following the trend. I'm in an uptrend. I'm taking buys. All right. Now, with this arrow, this is your bounce arrow go. Bounce from a support zone. Arrow closed above the MA. And this arrow will appear because it closed above the MA at the end of this hour candle. And you in the direction, take the trade. You can get in right here. I got in a little late. That's why it's not in exactly at the opening of the candle. But I got in and you just ride it on up. Now, normally, the way it's taught in the video, you can go to strategy 2, which is the H1 and H4 time frame. But I'm not following the trend. When he says, when that strategy is you following the color of the candle to do the trend, I'm not doing that. I just went to bag strategy, but just did it off of the H1 and I just held it. And so since it's not a, since it's on a higher time frame, I don't hold it for 20 pips. You know, I can hold it for 50 or 100, depending on however long you're comfortable in. But if you are just want to catch 20 pips and dip, do that until you get comfortable and learn more about the instrument to hold it a little longer. So in my little yellow lines, that's the Fibonacci. That's what that is. And we'll talk about that in another one. But that's how this is S&P 500. And now because I have two consecutive arrows, you know, that is taught that you can take both trades off of each one. That is in the strategy as well. So you can confidently go ahead and take two trades, have two positions, or just take this one and wait for another arrow. Now, because there's two arrows that have happened, I'm not going to get another H1 arrow going up anymore because the trend is very strong, right? So now, what am I doing? I went to the H4 and I'm going to sit and wait for my next alert. That's what I do. That's what I do. So, and this is off of S&P 500. I have other little things that I'm in here for, but this
Yeah,
is
go ahead,
my
show me
break.
that. Go ahead, show me what's going on down there with the AUD pairs too.
Oh, you want to see them AUD
Yeah,
pairs?
them things look close to entry. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to see what's going on.
Yes, I'm on the H1 on those as well. And you see I'm zoomed out. I'm on an
Strong
uptrend.
uptrend.
Yep.
Wow.
And now AUD is a little slower. So when I went in, I got in around here. I just took the arrow alert too. So bounce from the zone, arrow alert, took the trade. I got in right there. And then I just waited. Now you see how it came? It didn't close below that MA, so it didn't give me a down arrow. I'm still good. And then it's just gonna ride on up. I really, since I'm not really familiar with AUD pairs as much, I'm gonna try and catch 25, 30 pips, and then I'm gonna bounce out. But that's AUD USD. And then also the same thing with AUD JPY. Now that's my favorite pair. I love this pair.
I like that. Definitely one of my favorites.
I love it. It's such a smooth running pair. But the same thing, it's on an uptrend. I'm on H1, I'm just gonna take my trade. Now you see how this smooth running pair right now, it had made this huge move in this hour. So if you was on the M15, you know, that thing would have been nice, but it made that move and then it kind of got stagnant, but it's on its way back around again. So I'm just going to hold it for maybe 25, 30 pips, and then I'm going to just bounce on out because those are just little ones I'm trying to catch, you know, just to add additional positions for my challenge. That's all I'm doing. But
Mm.
all off the H1, and those are bag entries, and just catch your pips and go about your business.
Wow, wow, wow,
I'll
wow.
stop sharing if you want me to stop sharing.
Nah, you're good. That was incredible. I'm finna go. I'm looking at AJ right now in the 15. Like, hold on now. Are these entries? Like, I'm thinking because I like both of those trades. So it's like I love that AUD's been on the uptrend for a while. I really I'm just excited to have somebody else on here who really has been utilizing AIRO and is confident in the strategy. I've been keeping things just very much to the as basic as possible. But I love upping the time frames and kind of going over that perspective. Somebody said, do you go with longer TPs? I'm sorry, longer stop losses because you're trading on the higher time frame. I just saw that question. It's a good question.
Yes, I do. In the strategies that Nate teaches, he typically says you shoot for about 50 TP and 100 pip stop loss is even on currency pairs. And I kind of go 2.5 times that on an index because they do move differently. However, as you go through the AIRO strategies and you get to that Fibonacci, I'm gonna keep dropping it. If you learn that Fibonacci, you can actually tighten your stop loss and minimize it if you get in right. But you got to make sure you draw your lines appropriately and all that. But it is taught in there too. So that is one way to handle it. But yeah, to be on the safe side. So this is my take profit, and my stop loss ain't even on this screen. It's there, you know, but it's because I don't trade without a stop loss. I ain't crazy now, but see, it's way down here. You think price gonna come all the way down here? I don't think so.
Yeah, I got it.
It got a lot to go through in order to get down to touch my stop loss. But
Mm-mm-mm.
that's how I manage my trades too, you know. So I got lot sizes. I got different lot sizes for different trades because I manage my positions. I manage my position based upon my stop loss. So however, wherever my entry is, I take my stop loss. I calculate where my stop loss is first. And then I go ahead and use that, how many pips I'm going to risk. And I try to risk about maybe a couple of percentage per trade. And then that's what creates my lot size. So I do not care about how much profit I'm going to make. I care about if I'm going to lose, how much am I willing to lose? That's what I care about.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, hopefully that answered that question well.
Hmm.
Now, don't y'all let these numbers of these pips get y'all all riled up now.
You know they can't help themselves.
Don't you come over here and say, Jackie, I did S&P and my account got taken. I'm gonna be like, well, it ain't ready for you yet. I need you to practice and demo. Okay, if y'all can maintain that 80% or higher winning accuracy, build that confidence, and then come on over here and maybe drop a little point oh 0.01 on US 500 or something. And then if you feel more confident in that, then you might be able to drop like one on NASDAQ or something. You know, same thing. I got NASDAQ on here too. Notice I don't have US 30 on there. Even I'm scared of that one. I'm gonna tell y'all right now. I don't win all my trades because I'm a human person. So I do take trades and I lose some. And I could tell you, like a week ago, me and my team, we thought we had the strategy for US 30, and we thought wrong. So
That is funny.
we took US 30 right on off our charts. But anyway, I'll stop sharing if y'all wanted to look at. But I do have I do have gold on here. I have silver, and I got a couple of euros. And I will say this: I added these currency pairs on here because of the challenge, because I needed to be able to trade a minimum certain amount of days, and I know I swing trade US 50, US 500, so I wanted to be able to at least put in a trade on different pairs each day. But I chose these based on volatility and their average daily range. So I know we had the 10 recommended pairs by Nate, right? But a lot of them are GBP pairs, and when I'm trading, most of the time, I'm not up for London session a lot, and I know that some of those GBP pairs will run even in New York session. but I was trying to find more pairs that move more during New York. And so I found the volatility for these additional pairs to be just as high. And what I mean by that, meaning that their average daily range is over 100 pips in a day. So I was like, okay, well, if I'm swing trading off of the H1 and I'm only shooting for 30 pips, then I'll probably be in that trade just for a day and get out and go about my business. So that's kind of what I was doing with that. So I actually closed those GU trades y'all mentioned earlier. I had those earlier, and now we're waiting on AUD because that's slow. And we'll see what happens. But I do have gold and silver on there. I got my oil, so I trade oil as well. And but I do a specific strategy on oil. I won't tell y'all that right now. Maybe on the next 2, 3 calls or something. But y'all have to come. Y'all have to tune in for that one because that's a specific
Powerful,
strategy.
powerful. This is gonna be so much fun. All right, we
Absolutely.
just got an alert on a 15 for a couple
Oh,
of days. So let
I'm
me
gonna
see
stop
what's
sharing.
going
You go
on.
ahead.
All right, perfect. Let's see what's going on. So we got, see, look at me. I'm all on the H1 for AJ, trying to see what's going on. So let's see. UCAD and NZD NZD Okay, so first thing we do when we're looking at the 15-minute strategy one, is that you want to identify the trend. And what you can see here is easily identifiable. We're in more reds than we are green, so we're in a downtrend. So when you see that we got an up arrow, actually our arrow for NCAD, for NZD was down, which is a good thing in our favor. So we're looking for sells. We're still sitting in a zone, so it's not necessarily the greatest of trades. You don't want to take a trade that doesn't give you at least 20 pips room to the next zone. So we're with the trend. You want to have at least 20 pips to the next zone. If you were to take a trade, if you're following a strategy one, if the amount of trades are even, let's say that there's 5 green blocks and 5 red blocks, you would only take a trade in that scenario if there's at least 50 pips in between. That doesn't mean that this trade wouldn't drop, but what it means is that by the rules that we're playing, I wouldn't take this trade because in more scenarios than not, it wouldn't go in my favor. But these zones are a little too close to take this trade. And how you count pips, for some people, I think somebody just asked that. What I use this crosshair tool all the time. I think it makes it very, very easy for me to understand. And you only have, you see where it says 109 right there? That's 109 points. Pips, you're basically moving 1 decimal place over. So we're only about 10 pips away from our where the next zone is at, which is not necessarily worth it or a great lineup for a trade. So I would pass on this one. And a lot of times, learning how to not take trades is just as important as learning how to take which ones you get into.
Straight facts.
I used to be greedy on the market, so I try to take every trade.
Same.
See here, we got 3 red and 3 green, so we're even, and it's a great scenario. So you want to have at least 50 pips difference in between this and your next zone for you to take a trade. That is that if the zones are even, because your trend isn't necessarily identifiable. So your distance here is about 40 pips, not 50. So it's not great, but I do kind of like it because it's in confluence with NZD/USD. What does that mean? It means that if the dollar is getting stronger in this moment right now, that the pairs that have the USD at the back end will drop and pairs that have USD at the front end will rise, which is why, but at the same time, you see an alert. And a website that I use to kind of go over just what's going on with the currencies of the world is, I love this site. It's called Finviz, Finviz, Finviz. And then you come here and you hit, and this is not to say this is advanced. This is just something I use alongside of when I'm trading to kind of make things make a little bit more sense for me. And what it does is it tells you which currency pairs are the strongest and which are the weakest in this current moment right now. It's very liable. It's very liable to change. But it's very liable to change. But it is very easy to kind of like go along with what you're currently doing. So I like that a lot to kind of go on, and you can see where the strength of each currency is. Perfect. Let me see. Got a lot of questions in the chat. Jackie, talk to me. You hear me?
Sorry, I was muted. My bad. Yeah, I can hear you. I was over here answering the questions too.
I see a bunch of questions in the chat going on. I'm trying to make sure I get back.
Oh, no problem. I got you covered too.
Mm-hmm.
I see they throwing them in the Q&A and in the chat. If you guys are gonna ask questions like Dante say, throw it in the Q&A so I could just focus in there for y'all.
For sure.
Let me go through. I'm gonna go through everything that's in the Q&A real quick too.
No problem.
Meek is asking, I guess UC means UCAD, a possible second leg of a W. I'm not good with M's and W's.
I'm gonna say I'm staying away from the M and W conversation. We keeping it as a strat one.
Yeah, facts. Somebody asked me that. They were like, "Hey, Jackie, about wedges." I'm like, I can't draw a trend line to save my life.
And you know, the thing is, like, you don't need to master every different type of strategy to be successful. The goal is to have your strategy that you can win with and be solid from there.
Exactly.
If these if NCAS or if NU and UCAD weren't so close to those other zones, those would be good.
Mm-hmm.
It's FinViz. I'll type it. FinViz.
I liked it when you gave me that site before. That was great.
It's just cool to see, like, you know what I mean, what's going on with the currencies, like, and it makes me more confident when I take certain trades.
Mm-hmm. Let's see what time it is. Oh, market had already opened. Okay.
You said FinViz has also been around for years. Yeah, a veteran trader really introduced it to me a couple years ago. We were scalping.
Somebody's asking about demonstrating a stop loss.
Demonstrating it. I mean, for me, I count my pips either way. So, like, just to give an example, like, let's say you were to take this arrow here for a sell. Not to say this is a good example of a trade, just to give an example of how I do my stop loss and take profit very quickly. Whether I even, like, for right now today, I just moved some money around, so I'm not even trading on this account that you see here. I'm trading on another account on my phone. I just didn't set up AIRO on it yet. But what I would do is that you right after you enter the trade, there'll be a line when you enter, and you can put this crosshair tool, even if you don't take the trade, you can put the crosshair tool anywhere to get your pip count measurement at. So you want to click on wherever you entered or thinking about entering the trade, and then you can drag this tool up or down. So, like, let's say I wanted to take that sell and then I needed a 40 pip stop loss. I would just drag this tool up to where I see 400. And then the price of that, where you see 400, which means 40 pips, is right to the right of it. So, like, 81.95 is where your stop loss would be in that example. And to let you guys know that we had a memo last night to us as educators that we're not, like, because we're not financial advisors, and we definitely are not. The only financial advisor that is a part of Auvoria Prime right now is Stephen Vetterall. So we're not allowed to technically give out exact stop losses and exact take profits. So if me and Jack are going to jump into a trade, we're going to jump into it and tell you how many pips our stop loss is and probably the region. But learning how to go in on yourself and get this 20 pips and 40 pip stop loss is going to be very beneficial to yourself. I hope that answered that question. Because I love the crosshair tool. It's super easy. And then you can also, when you enter the trade, just drag the line and it'll go set the stop loss for you too.
Yeah, I love that tool. I'm so used to it. Somebody asked a question about, do we recommend any other pairs besides the 10 that Nate suggests for beginners? Actually, I don't have any recommendations. I just trade whatever my broker offers.
For the new trade for me, because we were trading in December, it wasn't a lot of stuff going on. I was trying to figure out, when I talked to Nate, I asked him why he chose the pairs he chose. And he said a similar strategy to Jackie when it comes to, hold on, I forgot the question. Boy, I'm looking at the new questions in the chat. He said, can we use an AIRO on binary options? I haven't done it yet, but Nathan was showing me how he's been doing it recently. What was the question you just said, Jackie? So they threw me off. So y'all going too crazy in the chat.
No, they were asking about, do we recommend any pairs besides the 10 that Nate suggests?
Oh yeah, I use when I go to FinViz, the easiest way for me, like, one, I asked Nate and he said the ADR, which is the average daily range, that Jackie just mentioned, which means that how many pips does it move every day? And he wanted to choose pairs that move more or move more frequently because that makes it more likely for you to get into a trade. So for me, when things were even slow with those 10 pairs, I wanted to go outside of that. And I asked him, does it work on all Forex pairs? He said, yes, just some of them move slower. Like Jackie just mentioned with AUD, that was moving. Like she said, well, she was in the trade. It's been a little while because AUD is more of a snail pair. So it is that's kind of how I feel about going outside of just the 10. The pairs that I would not trade any exotics. I would only keep it to the majors and minors. So if you go to FinViz, you can see at the bottom here, these are all the majors and minors. So you can do any mix of these pairs right here and pretty much be good to go. You just want to make sure that you understand like exactly how to actually use the software. The biggest thing is learn how to use AIRO, not necessarily what pair you're trading on.
Excellent.
Donta, did we set a record with attendees on this webinar?
Yes, we have 252 people on live with us right now. I believe our record last week was 210. So yes, we have set a record.
Yay.
Absolutely. Very, very excited. This is great.
Yay. Everybody learning and winning. I love it.
They came for Jackie today.
I didn't even know she would be on here, but I'm excited. You really got me inspired on those indices.
Wonderful. It's so good to hear your voice, Mariska. I'm actually down on the M5 right now looking for something on eBay to see where we're in a pullback right now.
Happens.
I'm trying to see what they're doing. Because honestly, since we're in a pullback, I'm looking for another position. That's what I'm looking for. Only on S&P 500 though. I don't really mess with NASDAQ. That's my girl Mo. Whenever she jumps on.
Yeah, I want to learn about that NASDAQ.
She be killing it, and she be on the M1. Like I have fears. I told y'all I fear Dow Jones, right? But I do have somebody working on a strategy using AIRO, and I'm having them test it out. So if it work out, you might see some more of that. But right now, I said unless that thing is 90% accurate, I stay away from US 30 and NASDAQ. She be on the M1 trading that.
Crazy.
And I said I can't. I'm scared.
M1 is vicious. I can't wait to just watch her trade and kind of like pick her brain. Does anyone use AIRO for crypto? Yes, we have a couple people who do. It takes that's even more volatile than indices. So you want to make sure that you're being careful. But I know that Nate was talking. We have actually an educator. Shout out to Vladdy V, who is going through the interview process now for being one of our educators when it comes to the crypto space. So I think that just kind of stay tuned. And we're gonna, like I promised, like AIRO just released to our community like maybe 2.5 months ago. So we're putting the pieces together, and this is all going to get better day and day. And we're going to make sure that we bring just as much value to the table as possible with a strategy that's as simple as this.
Yes, Susan made a good point.
Yo, people so funny. I got a question in the chat. So he he says, so on these calls, you guys will call out trade setups, but we won't be able to get specific take profits or stop losses, correct? And he has 5 question marks. So it sounds like you're really stressing out about these take profits and stop losses when we explain to you how to go and do it yourself. And that's the super key that I want you to get is that why I told Nate that like I don't want to do 5 days a week and I don't want to do we don't want to be overly accessible is because the point is for you to understand how to do this on your own. So that way you can these are not strategies that are too difficult to understand for you to be able to do this on your own. And we want to encourage you to learn how to be able to do so. So that way it's not like, okay, well, if Jackie and Dante are sick today, then what? You're not gonna make money. So your family is not gonna eat because Jackie and Dante didn't come on a session today. No, you know what I'm saying? Absolutely not. And you want to take responsibility for as much as you can.
Yep. I see somebody just asked the question. They were like,
yeah, they funny.
so wait, Jack, you trade off the H4? Yeah, honestly, I trade off anything, but I prefer H1 for sure, and I will go to H4 if the trend is strong. So all I'm doing is following the trend, and I'm taking opportunities off of the trend. That's all I'm doing. But yes, since I have 2 H1 arrows on an instrument, and this doesn't matter whether it's a currency pair or whatever. If you got 2 of them, you already going in the same direction. You know you're not going to get a third one unless there's an interruption and price retraces, right? So I go to the H4 and wait for an alert on there just to do another position. Just another way of taking another trade and catching some more pips. So that
So
was
we
that
just got
shout
an
out to
alert
Valdez.
for
Oh, okay.
GA. And we are, so the first thing that you're doing, anytime you get an alert, is you're zooming out. You want to get your trend direction. So here we have the clear uptrend. Here, I think this is a great example for a couple of reasons. So a couple times people get confused, or they'll say, like here, because this area didn't touch the actual zone, would I consider it a bounce? I get that question all the time from people. And for me, if it's inside of the money zone and this was within 5-10 pips, maybe like just 5 pips, I will consider that a bounce. You want to really see that contact, but you look how close this is right here. You'll learn that in trading, that it's never like the line is the direct or the exact thing. It's more of a region than it is like a support or resistance direct line. So for me, that's one thing. And then two, is when it comes to zones that are in the way. So for one thing that I've learned that I see with AIRO sometimes is that as you are trading live, that zones like this, if this price would have closed maybe 2 pips higher up here, this red zone right here may not have been here in this scenario. So when you're looking at trade opportunities, there's a lot, it's not a lot, but there's a few things that are like kind of like personal discretion for how you're going to take trades. That's why you see people sometimes only take trades for 10 pips or 20 pips or things like that. So this is very close to lining up to exactly what we want to see. Your only 2 things that are issue is still your proximity to your next zone is just at 20 pips. But because we're in this zone here, it's still not super clean as a green light. Now I know people will take this trade, just like sometimes people took the UCAD trade we just talked about, or the NZD USD trade. But for me, I'm being very selective in what I'm doing. I'm actually, just like Jackie said, I'm completing a challenge to where I want to prove and show that just how accurate this product is. So for those who are more experienced with it, I know some people will take a trade like this and some wouldn't, but because we're currently sitting in the zone, I'm not going to take this. But I've seen oftentimes that price will go up afterwards and go ahead. And then sometimes you'll see it potentially reject. So this is just like a point of discretion, is what I call it, when it comes to trading. And there's no experience in the market, like experience in the market. So watching moves like this play out, this is me as be a trade I might take on my demo account as I'm watching, as I'm going through live and things like that. So that way you get that confidence or you build it up. That makes sense. It's very close though. Like if this was when we first got on our AIRO calls, when I wasn't maybe following the rules to the exact degree, I would have probably taken a trade like that. And it doesn't necessarily, it's not even about does it win or not. It's about, are you doing the right thing over and over again? Because when you're doing the right thing repeatedly, you're going to be on the right side of how this is supposed to work more than you're not. So a trade like that is very close to automatically taking it. But because we're in that zone, which is literally only the matter difference of a couple pips, it's not, as an educator, you want to lean on the side of conservative. As your own personal trader, you're in control of your own money. So it's like you have the ability to take whatever trade it is that you deem or whatever it is that you feel, no other human being has control over that. But you want to make sure that when we're coming from a position of how we're teaching somebody who's new, if Nate was on here, what would he say? Follow the rules. We gotta get Nate follow the rules t-shirt, man. I'm trying to tell you.
Dante, we have a few people on here that are probably brand new,
okay,
struggling with understanding what exactly they are looking at and what to do. So I think it may be a good idea just to explain those simple rules for strategy 1.
Okay, I'll go back to the GU trade that was taken yesterday because I like to just look at a lot of examples of winning trades so you can see just how the workflow of this happens. So let me bring this up. Where's GU? Here we go.
For those who are new, these calls may seem a bit overwhelming, but I promise you, if you attend on a regular basis, you will be surprised how much you will learn. But go back to the videos in AP Academy, go through strategy 1 and just focus on strategy 1 until you get the hang of it.
Absolutely. I'm a huge fan of that, Mariska. And I'm liking GU too. I promise you. GU pops up here with an arrow. That's an odd eye. We're taking a trade. Or I'm taking a trade. So here, what I want to show you for the newest person. So AIRO is a visual software that allows you to see the markets a lot clearer to be able to really be more successful in your trading journey. So the rules when it comes to AIRO are, every time an arrow pops up, you would get a notification. So you'll see sometimes this little box that'll pop up and it has a bunch of potential trades there. Just thank you. That just happened right here. So anytime that happens, that means that an arrow has popped up on whatever currency pair that I'm trading. So everything that you're seeing there are different currency pairs that we're looking at. So for a new person, what you're using, why AIRO is powerful is because it makes it very easy to see and take successful trades. So here, yesterday, you see this shaded area. This shaded area, the first rule that we have is that you only want to take trades inside of what we call the money zone. The money zone is a 12-hour period of the day to where majority of the volume in trading is at. When I say volume, that means that's when most people are trading. That's when most of the that's when most of the banks are trading, which is where all the money is at in Forex. So we only want to take trades during that time frame because it makes it more probable that we're going to see movement and are able to win that trade, as opposed to at times when the banks don't have their money in the market. So what Nate's strategy is done to do is to make this very easy for you to see. So the first thing you want to do is to, one, make sure you're in the money zone. Two, look and make sure to identify what kind of trend that you're in. There's only two ways a trend can go. It's an uptrend or a downtrend. And you see that by counting these colored zones that you see here. So if you see more green zones than red zones, you're in an uptrend. If you see more red zones than green zones, you'd be in a downtrend. If we're in an uptrend, we're only looking for buy opportunities. If I'm in a downtrend, I'm only looking for sell opportunities. It doesn't matter what else is going on. I'm only looking for trades that go with the flow of the trend. And once you identify the trend, which is easy because of the software, boom, 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 it is much easier to trade. So now you know the trend. Now you have our AIRO here. When you get an AIRO and you know the trend and it's in favor of the trend and you're in the money zone, all you're looking for is it to bounce off of a zone. Take that, you see the AIRO here, and you would enter the trade. Once you enter the trade, you're counting for about 20 pips. So you see, I'll show you this here. I know this tool, we may have never seen this before, but it's very easy and it makes counting pips super easy. So I took this trade yesterday and was able to catch 20 pips off of this trade just yesterday. Now, 20 pips to everybody is different based on how much money it is that you have inside of your account. And the goal is not to necessarily be worried about how much money somebody else is making. The value of pips is important, and not a lot of people necessarily understand that. And I think that as more people learn how much value, like 20, 40, 60 pips in a day could, like, if you can do that 2, 3, 4 days of the week, like that could change your life. Like that alone, once you get to a certain point to have enough equity in your account, could be like a solid, serious income to your household. And I think that that's very powerful. But AIRO makes it very, very easy. So you're just bouncing off of the zone. You catch the AIRO, you take the trade. As long as you're inside the money zone and the trade is with the trend, you take it. It's 3, 4 rules. Very, very simple. It's just that because we're on the charts live, there's an added factor of, okay, we want to help people get into live trades right now. And so we're looking through each chart and seeing if we can see opportunities, as opposed to in a normal situation, I would just let the alert come to me and then I would go check it. And if it wasn't matching the rules, I would just not take the trade. But we've chosen to help teach and show people kind of like how to do this if you were going to be on the charts, really, really paying attention. So I hope Mariska kind of breaks down strategy 1.
Was clear enough to me.
Well done.
I'm looking at this trade though here. I would love if this came up, closed, this red zone to disappear, for AIRO to happen. That would be music to my ears.
Absolutely. I'm looking. I kind of want GU to keep going up.
We just had the GA alert that was going up. GCAD's going up. GN is going up. So it would not surprise me. What's the reason why GU didn't go up yet though, like we saw, is that the USD pairs were gaining some strength, which is why NZD USD dropped and USD CAD went up. So it's kind of like a battle between the pound and the USD right now, hoping that the pound wins, and then we hopefully catch that trade.
Yep. I'm banking on. Let me see. I'm going down to the M15 so I can hang out with y'all for a little bit. Let's see. And I'm on the M5 on S&P right now, just to see what's going on here. Let's see. Okay, well, it's still hanging around. I like this time of day. It's 10 o'clock Eastern time. I like this time frame because it's a new 4-hour candle that just started. And a lot can happen in this 4-hour candle. So this is my favorite time to trade. Ooh, so if I look at S&P on the M5, we had that beautiful counter trend that occurred. and it dropped out. And so I kind of would like for that thing to turn right back around again.
Mhm.
And wait for that to happen. So that'll be nice.
Somebody said if it's a downtrend on the 15 but uptrend on the 1 hour and you get a buyer on the 1 hour, is it valid? If I'm looking at it from the 1 hour perspective. So how I would take a trade if I'm trading with a 1 hour time frame or the 15-minute time frame is very different. So 15-minute time frame, your stop loss is much tighter, you take profit is much shorter. But if I get an arrow on the H1, like Jackie was showing, I will open it up much more. And if it's an uptrend on the H1, I would take the trade.
Yep.
I would do it with that approach though, not with a 20, you know what I mean? I would have it more with the swing trade approach.
Yep. Exactly. I know that is a question that happens a lot. And I think sometimes people are confusing things. You got to treat each time frame and trade according to the trend of that time frame.
Right.
Don't I know that there's something called multi-time frame trading, but stick with the time frame of the chart that you're on, because that trend on the 15-minute, like you just said, could be different from the trend on the H1. Remember, and think about this, you guys, trend forms on the lower time frames, and the stronger the trend becomes, it will then change on the higher time frames. Okay, that's how a trend gets formulated and then strong, and then it continues. However, if you see something different on the H1, like it's going up, and you're on the M15, it's going down, that could be one of two things. You are either in the beginning of a downtrend, or you are trading a retracement of an uptrend. So that's why you need to separate the time frames. Treat each time frame as its own market and only follow the trend of that time frame and stay within the rules. If you're on the M15, just like Dante said, you should be trading in the money zone. I do not want to see anybody tell me they're on M15 trades and it's outside the money zone.
Right.
Don't do that to yourself, okay? Stay in the money zone. Follow the trend. Stick with strategy one. Like he said, I promise you as well. It is not that, don't complicate things until you are ready to make it a little bit more complicated. But stick with just that and stay on that time frame and stay in that trend. And make sure you pay attention to your take profit and your stop loss. Follow your rules. Just because like he measures the zones actually, right?
Yes.
On a 15-minute time frame, 20 pips. If you see and it says 10 pips, 15 pips, you could go for it. But is that really the quality trade that you want to take when you have 20 other pairs that could be hitting that 20 pips, but you focused on this 10 pip one? You know what I mean? If you follow the rule, not only will you probably more than likely be a little bit more consistently successful with your trades, but you also will be looking for more quality trades as well. I just want to throw that out there.
It's the truth. Absolutely. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. We can go ahead. We ain't even play no music this time. I love having you on here, Jackie. We ain't even get the vibe going.
Oh, somebody asked me, there's an SPX M15 AIRO. I don't like the M15, number one, because on indice, because a lot happens on the M5 with that. But I do see the AIRO that you're talking about. But I'm gonna just tell y'all right now, is an M15 down AIRO on US 500. We in the money zone. What did I just say? If we on the M15 and we in the money zone, and is it going with the trend? If you zoom out, you count how many zones you have, green versus red. I got more green than I got red. So am I looking at any down arrows? No, I am not. So do not take that trade. Follow the trend. Strategy one.
No, straight like that.
Unless you got skill. Now, if you got skill, you can take it. Go ahead and take it.
I tell folks though, like if you really that skilled, like you don't need to get coached through a live session. You know what I mean? Like for me, I'm better trading by myself, so that way I don't take other opinions kind of like throw you off what you got going on. So it's like if you're really comfortable and skilled, then do your thing and just let us know how you're doing. And if you're like anybody's looking to become an educator or look to maybe be something that's a part of your repertoire, I promise you that the platform that we're building, there's going to be opportunity for those who are serious. to be a part of this. So we're looking to collaborate for anybody who's like serious, because some of the strategies that Nate has weren't strategies that he created, were strategies that very good traders came and brought once they saw AIRO, and we're kind of able to combine strategies to make it even more effective and easier for the new person. So we're really looking to grow this and help as many people become profitable in the markets.
Look at you with the vibe music going on.
Trying to tell you, this is how we usually get down in the morning.
Oh man. Let's see here. Somebody asked about what did they ask? I just missed it. My bad, y'all.
It's a bunch of questions both ways.
It sure is.
Yeah.
Somebody asked about UCAD. Can I ask? Does it count as if it's a bag? But y'all might have answered already, didn't we?
And somebody said this is not easy for new traders. That's incorrect, but people learn on different levels. Absolutely. Some people can visualize while some are hands-on. I'm still trying to catch on because unlike seasoned traders, I have no idea what to do. Correct. I mean, I've literally seen people who've never entered a trade in their entire life walk through Nate's the training, walk through the Forex Academy that's provided to them in AP Academy, hop on sessions like this and become profitable. Like I can go into names and have you call them yourself if you want to talk to them, because it's really about how much are you willing to actually commit to learning. If you actually go through and pay attention and watch the videos and really listen to what we're talking about on calls like these, there's a lot of there's just a lot of information that can really help you.
I'm just trying to go through all them questions. Let's see here.
Thank you so much, Susan, too. I see you in the chat answering a lot of people. Let me bring you up. I didn't even realize you were on there. I saw it earlier.
Oh,
Jackie,
yeah.
Got a question here for you. AUH1, a new red zone appeared. Will you exit?
What pair was it?
AU.
Yeah, AU, Aussie dollar.
You can go share your screen. It'll go ahead.
Oh, sure. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. On AU, and the question was, would I exit? Let me find AU and I'll see. All right, well, I'm on an H1 on AU, which is where I'm in right now, but I'm only down 6 pips. So
yeah, but because the red zone appeared.
Oh, because of this right here. Yep. Okay. Here's a couple of things with that. Me personally, because I have my Fibonacci drawn, I am holding it for a couple of reasons. I'm only down 6 pips right now. It ain't nowhere near my stop loss. And I'm following the trend. And my trend is strong. It may break that zone. I don't mind holding it and waiting for a little while. So I'm not going to immediately exit out this trade right now. Especially, and plus I'm on the H1, so my stop loss is a lot higher. Like I'm shooting for 50 pips, take profits, 100 pips stop loss. That's how I was taught in this strategy, right? So I'm not going to run it's nowhere near 100 pips. I'll hold and wait and see. When you're on the higher time frames, you're not jumping in and out. You're swing trading. So you're more take the trade, hold it, wait and see what it does. If it starts to get anywhere near my 100 pips, then I might go ahead and jump out of it. But there has to be a lot happening in order for me to do that. And when I say a lot happening, I need to see a down arrow 1 coming down like this, signifying that the trend has changed. And actually, I need to see a second one to make me really start to question whether I need to get out. And if this thing is nowhere near my 100 pips stop loss, I'm not worried about it. Only because, again, I take my trades based upon my risk. So even if it does hit my 100 pips, I don't care because I was willing to take that risk and take it. I don't like to jump in and out of trades a lot, but because I'm on a higher time frame, you don't necessarily have to think in that way. When you're on the higher ones, you think about long term. You think about waiting price out. Because remember, price is moving along this MA, this moving average, right? Price always returns to this moving average, okay? So when price is going up, it's going to play around for a little bit. Zones get created, things happen, markets are moving, people are making money and buying and selling. All that's taking place. What you do when you're on a higher time frame, you take in the mindset of more of a wait and see approach. You looking at it as if you are attacking the market and you waiting for a sniper entry. You got your sniper entry. Now what you doing? Just let the market play out in its fashion. Don't go searching for the trades. Let the trades come to you. Dante said that earlier, right? Let it come to you, and then you just relax and chill. And you should not have stress in your trading. So don't worry about that zone. On the higher time frame, I'm saying this. On the M15, it's a little bit different, but remember, you treat each time frame differently. There's a whole nother approach when you're on the higher ones. But to answer that question, nah, I'm gonna sit here and relax and chill, especially when I'm only down 7 pips. That ain't nothing compared to 100.
Right, for sure. And to one thing too that I use in that same strategy, Jackie, is like a zone like that wouldn't necessarily make me jump out the trade. I need to see it turn a little bit against me a little bit more. So I definitely would agree. I like to see if I'm going to get out of a trade, it's definitely got to open and close under the moving average for me. Like that's like my okay. I'm out is when I see a full candle open and close under. That's when I start to I think that the trend may be changing, and I'll start considering getting out.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know if anybody was mentioning that. I think somebody had mentioned to me about my pips on US 500, and he's like, "Oh, it went down." I said earlier, it's retracing right now. Am I jumping out these trades? No, I am not. I have an expectation for them, and as far long as I'm staying with the trend, and it ain't nowhere near my stop loss, which it clearly isn't, because I'm positive, I'm chilling. I have no stress with my trades.
Posture.
I think that's a pretty significant difference between trading the 15-minute charts and the higher time frames, right?
Yes,
Again, to
absolutely.
simplify for beginners who are attending today, if you are following strategy 1 and a red zone appears when you have placed a buy order, according to the rules of the strategy, it means exit the trade.
Yes, yes, absolutely. And particularly when you're doing the strategy one, you're on the M15 time frame. So
Exactly.
exactly. When you go into H1, there's a strategy for that. Like where I'm at, the rules are a little bit more different, just like Mariska said. But you also, I would also stress too, as you're new to this and you're learning to trade, and I'm just gonna go down to the M15 so you can follow what I'm saying too. So let this update for a second. Here's the M15 on AUD USD. So you see when prices started going up, it hit this zone. This is exactly that zone that you see on the higher time frame. This is price messing with it, fighting against it. It keeps trying to fight and pass and go through, and it keeps getting knocked back down, right? Eventually, so what that's telling you is that price is trying to break through and nothing's happening right now. There are multiple things could be considering that. But the thing is this, I'm not as familiar with AUD USD as a pair for me to trade. But what I am doing is learning how price is moving for this pair. Every time you trade, when you pick a pair to trade, you're not just picking a pair to trade just to catch a trade and catch pips and run. What you should be doing as you're, especially if you're new to this or experiencing this, you should be teaching yourself and starting to recognize how price is moving for the instrument. The price for AUD USD moves completely differently than GBP USD. So I always tell people, pick one pair that you could focus on and learn to master that particular pair. Because then what will happen is you will gain more confidence in what you're seeing on the chart. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm bread and butter on S&P 500. I've been trading that for like 6 months now. And that's all I've been trading. I'll do other things, but I've been trading that 6 months straight, day after day. And what did that teach me? It taught me how to look at the chart and how to look at these candlestick formations and how to follow the trend of that instrument. And the same thing I would say to y'all on these pairs. We got 10 suggested pairs, right? You can take a trade off of the pairs following the rules. But then as you're doing this, and if you want to get better at it and you want to become more ingrained and form the habit and develop the skill of a trader, pick one pair or two pairs and start to really focus on how those candles are formed and watch. Just watch. All you got to do all day, just watch. Even if you can't do it and you work it, when you come back home, Just watch and look, and then you will start to see patterns, because all price does is change and formulate patterns all day, every day. Okay, that's one of the things that helped me become a little bit more successful. That's why sometimes I'm a lot more confident on what price is getting ready to do, because I've studied it and I constantly study. I'm always in these markets. Even at night, I can't sleep. I'm thinking about trading. I come into a chart and I look at a chart. Now that question came up about AUD USD, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to be on this chart for the rest of the week now, so I could just learn and see how this thing is working, so that next week I'm gonna be even better at it. So hopefully that actually helps. It gives a little bit more information as to helping you guys utilizing AIRO, because remember, it's a trading system, right? It's not just an indicator. It's going to teach you as a beginner to experience on how to look at charts, how to look at how price forms, how to be able to trade these markets, because each pair is its own individual market, right? And news affects things, and but what your goal is at the end of all this is to be able to generate an income utilizing this system, and you can do it, but you must practice and study to master, right? I teach this proverb comes to me all the time, and I say this in like almost every call, and people probably gonna be like, yeah, she say it, but this system is going to give you the fish, right? And you're going to eat for a day. But if you learn this system and develop the skill of this trading system, you now have that skill to take that fish and go catch the fish for yourself, so you could eat for a lifetime.
Couldn't agree anymore. And that's what goes back into my point of like why we're on the live call here today. Because some of you may think that we're only on this call to throw out trades and to give people easy pips. And yeah, absolutely, like totally down. I cannot wait till we catch some trades that line up perfectly. But what's more important is the concepts and the information that's going to make you a better trader long term. So that way you can do this and eventually be teaching and hosting your own call. So that way other people are really getting this information about how powerful trading truly is. So I really couldn't agree anymore with what Jackie was saying. And it's just a great perspective.
Cool. I'm just kind of going on here to see if it's going on the N5, and I see the low of the day has been formed. So S&P, you just come on right back on up. But I will tell y'all see how I'm on the N5, and you see I got this zone right here, right? So if this thing decided to come on back up, now remember, I have these trades going from a higher time frame going up, and I have a certain take profit that I'm waiting for, right? So with these zones here, this thing is a little bit of a stronger resistance, right? So I'm gonna need a powerful move from price to be able to go through that and continue on the trend that I've already established, right? So that's one thing to look at when I'm on a lower time frame compared to me doing something off of the higher time frame. I should be looking at what is price doing. It's been all this up and down, but it's coming down here and it's playing around down there, could continue going down. That's okay, especially if you zoom out and look at what you at. I have how many zones? 1, 2, 3, 4, and I got 3 red. So I'm in an uptrend, but price is going down. So what you gonna do? Don't freak out. It's okay. You just wait for your trend trade. Follow the trend. Let price play out the way it needs to play out, and then you'll be fine as you go through it. Don't stress. Trading should not be stressful. It should be fun, y'all. Fun.
I totally agree.
I'm gonna stop sharing because I know y'all probably got another alert coming through. I love having.
Yeah, let's see. So I'm looking at these questions, trying to knock out these questions that people are posting in here. But I promise y'all, like Jackie is giving out so much game on this call. Like the people who've been on here, been trading with us for a couple of weeks now. Like I'm sure just hearing that perspective is amazing. I know we probably have a lot of brand new people who may be looking at this as a lot. And the truth of the matter is that if you walk into any field that you don't know about, any field, if you walk into a room right now of people who are professional piano players, if you've never played a piano before, their conversation is going to be a little advanced for you. If you walk into a room for any sport, anything, so it's like your first exposure. If you let that fear shake you out of really trying to do this, then you're putting yourself behind, not necessarily affecting any of us. What I encourage all new people to do is to understand that learning this puts you in a position of power when it comes to your time, because what this does is that this is a vehicle that you can create an income source from if you're able to learn it, which anybody is able to learn this who's committed and dedicated to doing so. You learn this, you're going to free up a lot of your time so that way you can do the things that you truly want to do with your life and not necessarily have to go to work or have to do things or trade your time for money. You can literally use your time to trade and then be able to have more available time to do what you want to do. Lots of questions.
Now I'm going through them too with you.
They in the chat too. Listen, y'all in the chat, you ask a question, make sure you send it to the attendees too, so everybody can see, not just us.
Yeah. Oh, what does it mean when the zone changes color?
The zone changes color?
Yeah, I'm wondering, Luz, do you mean the candles or the
I'm not.
zone?
He must be saying candle because I haven't seen a zone. Like if it was already, red zone downtrend, it will have to get broken and then retested to change color. So like that isn't something that happens in a minute.
Right, exactly. But the candlesticks changing color just signifies a change of trend, which is beautiful, by the way. I love that feature.
Kevin.
Yeah, oh, okay. Yeah, he said dark red to light red. Oh, the zone itself, because you have that. That's the shade of the money zone being inside that resistance zone. Hopefully that answers that question.
15-minute alerts. Let's see. We got a couple. Euro Chef, AU, UJ. We're already on AU, so we zoom out of here. And again, this is interesting as we look at this is what Jack was just talking about when it comes to time frame correlations, or when you're looking at it. So from the 15-minute perspective, when you're looking at AUD USD, we have more reds than we do greens. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 versus 3 is close. So this would technically be a downtrend on the 15-minute. For me, I wouldn't take this trade. And again, Jackie, this looks like this could be a bank inductor for those who know. Which one is bank inductor? Is that strategy 7?
It's not out yet.
Oh, all right. No, that's not right. I can't bring it up now. I'm sorry. But I wouldn't take this trade because it's too close to the zone here. So I don't like to take a trade in this scenario if it's we want to see this clearly. He said bank inductor is number 10. It's coming. That's gonna be a great strategy. I can't wait.
Sure is.
Oh yeah. So they said it's out. They said it's out. Strategy 10. I think he might have just released it last week.
Did he? No.
Oh, listen. If it's out there, strategy 10 is powerful. The bank inductor move is something that we're gonna start talking about in the next couple of weeks as well. But we really just want to focus on strategy 1. So for right now, this would not be a enterable trade because we're sitting on the zone. Even though we're in the trend, we have our balances almost what we want to see, but we're great. Oh, he taught it on the live call last week. Okay, so that means that he might not have. He didn't release it, but he taught it on the call.
And if there's anybody in my group that's saying something, y'all better stop talking about that bank induction. It ain't time yet.
Euro CHF. Where's Euro CHF? Let's see.
But I gotta say that's working in my favor though, that bank induction. Cause remember
right, I was like, ooh.
You know, I'm in those buys on AUD USD. I'm like, yeah, that's right. Go ahead, bank induction. Let's see.
So we got a sell trend here. We got like 5 or 6 arrows down. I'm sorry, 5 or 6 red zones. Our arrow was down. I don't necessarily like how this trade is looking at all. It's a little too crowded up either direction.
All that ranging going on.
Yeah, I'm good on that. What's UJ doing? UJ for the buy. All right, so first thing we doing is checking the workflow. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 green, 4 red. Ooh, interesting. So you would only be able to take a trade if you have at least 50 pips in between your two zones, and that would be the only way you would take a trade inside of when the trend is unidentifiable because the zones are even. So you're only looking at what, 30 pips here, and the arrow that we had was an up arrow anyway, so it's not a trade I would take, but just to let you know.
Well, I appreciate you going over that part too, because I have not been exposed to that as often when the zones are matching. So I'm glad we went over that part too. So that lets me
I like
know.
the zones matching up, because those bag entries, you'll see bag entries sometimes that are solid that because they're against the trend that we wouldn't take them. But I've seen often, like when the trend is even, when that space is there, those trades go.
Yes. Thank you for going over that.
So yeah, we're just hanging out, seeing what's going on.
Yes. We waiting for a couple of things. What time do we have here? Let's see what we got. Only 10:35? Okay. We good. Look at all them still talking about that Bank of Dutch. Stop that, y'all.
No, right?
Stop that. We stick to strategy one, y'all. We ain't there yet.
We're working on it. We're doing higher time frames today, so it's like, let's just give us some time.
Yeah. So we answered Meek's question about EJ, correct?
What do you ask? I did not.
He was just asking if it was a possible bag. He asked it about 15 minutes ago.
So. I didn't get no alert. That's why I didn't check it out.
Okay.
So without no arrow, ain't no bag.
Facts. I wait for the alert. I love that about AIRO too. Like, we all on the chart because we on this call, right? But the power of this system is I could be out and about shopping or something, with my mask on, of course, because we still got to abide by the rules. But I could be shopping and then I get an alert and I could just trade from my phone. I ain't got to sit here at a chart all day, because I used to have to do that when I used to do other manual trading. I had to sit in my chart. I used to have to draw my fib, or I have to put on my moving averages, and I got to wait for a certain candle formation and all this stuff. And I'm like, now I ain't got to do all that. I just got to wait for the alert.
Excited. Oh yeah, we about to test out V3 this week too, right, Jackie?
Absolutely.
We have an AIRO V3 coming in about a week or so once we kind of test it, make sure there aren't any bugs. Good question. Is the call? So that was Nathan's last call. He talked about the bank conductor. That was what, last week. I will see if he has that recording and see if he can get it out. But I know that he's going to record the strategy officially and then just post that in the strategy video. So he probably was just giving a treat to those who actually stayed up late that night, because there might not have been a lot of trades.
I think the policy within the company is that we do not record these live sessions. We have so many hours of them.
Right.
You can hop on and just experience what's going on in the markets with the guidance of our coaches. Training sessions are always recorded. So every Sunday, you'll find those calls from Nathan Beck on our Vimeo and YouTube channels, but always through your back office, AP Live.
Absolutely. Appreciate that, Mariska. So that means y'all better show up.
Oh, somebody asked if you can add additional indicators to the charts. I was going to say you can add whatever indicator you want on the chart as long as it's already in NT4, like via inserted indicators, if you want to. But I try to actually keep my charts clean.
AIRO is enough for me.
Yeah. Yeah. And the only reason why I brought that up because they brought up the RSI, and everybody that know me know I can't stand that indicator.
Yeah, when I first got started trading, he used to tell us if it's over 80 or if it's under 25, end of the trade. I'm like, man, y'all lied to me.
I know. I know. Whenever we get Mo on here, she swear by that thing and a couple other people, but I'm like, no, thank you.
She trades on the 1 minute though, so they were talking about higher time frames back then. I would love to see how she does it with AIRO on the smaller time frames. That's going to be very interesting. All right, going through the questions. Jeez, there's 5 people on the phone listening right now. That's incredible. Respect to y'all. You can't even see the chart. You just listen.
Nice. Oh, somebody asked the website you go to the pairs again. I think Dante posted that
Yeah,
in the chat.
it's called FinViz, FINVIZ. I'll throw that in the chat real fast for everybody. And just one of my mentors had shown me this a long time ago, and I kind of just like it to keep up with what's happening with the currency pairs. As you can see, like you'll see that the euro and the AUD are stronger right now. So you'll see pairs that have euro at the front or AUD at the front probably go potentially trending up. So it just helps kind of like with my understanding overall of what's happening in the market. It gives me extra confidence when I'm taking some trades just to know what's happening.
I know y'all probably heard my little beat. That was a little alert that I got off of NASDAQ, off the M5, and that's a no-go. It's all up in that support zone. No, thank you.
What app do we use for trading AIRO? Outside of MT4, it's an Android here. I don't have an Android, I have an iPhone, but it's what's called Microsoft Remote Desktop that you can download onto your phone and then have access to the RDP of the VPS, which will allow you to see what we're seeing right now. Anyway.
Yes, I love that. I literally traded that on while I was sitting in my car waiting for my kids to get out of school, and so it's like a 1:30, so it's like almost at the end of the money zone. Well, it's the end of the money zone, right? So usually I go off of the M15 and I switch to the H1, and when it's the money zone is off, and literally an alert came up. So as I'm sitting in my car, I went to the remote desktop, checked the chart, make sure everything worked, take the trade.
That's what I did with GU yesterday. I'm telling you, I took that trade in like 10 seconds, $200. I was like, that.
Yep.
And again, we've been about an hour and a half now, just to reiterate for everybody, that when it comes to trading, that there's no guarantees that you're going to make any amount of money. We're going to be discussing different trades that we take, their lot sizes, and kind of going into a lot of detail. So we don't want to ever make anybody feel like because that me or Jackie may have done something like you just saw Jackie was up 800 pips on the trade. Because that happened to her, doesn't mean that you should just go automatically assume that it's going to happen as a guarantee for you. This is something you truly need to learn and pick up and add to your repertoire of skills. But we want to just kind of make sure we go over the disclaimer every hour and a half, just so people know and have the right expectations of what's going on.
Absolutely.
Also, if you do not have, Nathan is going to has a featured segment on our live call that we're going to do on January 30th. So we have a launch call for this company here in Auvoria Prime, and it is very exciting. It is our actual like national convention that we're doing virtually this year. It is going to be powerful, and I promise you, Nathan has some secrets that me and Jackie are sworn that we can't go and tell anybody about some things that are coming inside of the AIRO community. And we already told you a lot. So to think that there's even more gems and more secrets that are about to happen, you want to be there for Auvoria Prime's virtual convention on the 30th of January. You definitely want to make sure that you have your tickets to that. Mariska or Sarah, Susan, can you throw the link in the chat? I'm looking at somebody's question that says Sarah about it. She says, how much does AIRO cost? AIRO costs $99 a month, and then it's $20 a month for the VPS. We have had a VPS update in the last weekend, and I think we have another light one for like a development update for AIRO coming out next week as well. So that is great.
I see that about the magic keys. I have not used magic keys.
Yeah, me either.
But I do know some people that do. So the answer is yes. I just haven't done it personally.
Alan, anybody, the few people that I have seen that they have had issues with getting alerts to their phone, usually just reboot their VPS, and it's been much easier for them. So you want to make sure that you go and actually reboot your VPS. Yes, you can see your remote desktop from your phone. Yes.
How many are good trades?
Right. Well, that's not. I don't understand that kind of question. You determine how many are good trades by looking at it and going through the rules. The app to access AIRO on the go is Microsoft Remote Desktop. And then you do that and you put in these parameters here. for you. Like you come to your VPS of the AP and you click remote desktop connection, and it'll give you the details to be able to get in the VPS.
Yep. I wonder if the market's like kind of slowing down right now.
Yeah, it's inauguration week too. Kind of see what's going on.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Oh, see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Folks was in trades yesterday though. I thought things was gonna be slow. It was a bank holiday yesterday.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It's still, I saw people posting all types of screenshots.
It was popping off yesterday. I was shocked.
You are able to use AIRO for the 2-week trial. Yes, absolutely.
Yep.
For AIRO though, man, I just get them on a call like this. It's like at this point, what are you trying for? Like you just really just touch demo for 2 weeks. Oh, how about like it's because we have these calls open, it's a blessing to allow anybody to see what it is that we're doing and just get started. And it's so funny too. I was talking to somebody the other day about, I get a lot of questions about the FTMO, and I know that Nate's doing the challenge with those who are in want to do the FTMO group. But just like I told Nate in person last week, I just think that that whole theory that you need somebody, like I love using OPM. Like I don't want to get this confused. OPM in your personal investing journey is great. You want to use other people's money. It's a lot less stressful. But the reality, go ahead.
Have a look at dollar yen.
Hey, dollar yen. Chat box is blocking it. Thank you. So we got another one on UJ and UCAD. So I definitely want to go and talk about what's up with the FTMO challenge, and I want to hear about everybody who is using it and how it's going for you. So let's take a look at UJ though. So here we are in a downtrend, and we just got a bounce. And if Mariska called it out, you know what that means. We're not in the downtrend. We got 4 green and 4 red. So we have that 50 pip distance like we were talking about. So the alert we got like 30 minutes ago was up, which means that we weren't necessarily looking for it, but this one is down. And we have, how much room do we have, Mariska? Because the amount of zones are even, we want to see about 50 pips space in between these 2 zones. We only got about 28. So this would be a great example of what Jackie was talking about earlier, when it's like you're kind of determining this. This would be a trade you take for 10, maybe 15 pips. This again, you want to catch trades that fit exactly in your parameters. This is this is super close. And if we do this, you would take this trade for 10 to 15 pips. But I want to keep what I challenge myself is that I only want to take trades that are matching the rules 100%. And I want to be able to have more data, so that way when I'm talking to somebody new, this is like, if I was trading on my demo account, something like that, I wouldn't be mad if anybody taking this trade for 10, 15 pips. The distance between your zones doesn't technically follow the rules. So for me, I want to kind of, what me and Nate had a conversation about was try my best to keep our rules as tight as possible, and then bring data to the table with just on simply the rules, so that way we can show somebody, okay, listen, if you follow just strictly by the rules, this is what it is that you can remotely expect. But when you learn more and get more comfortable with what's going on, you can actually engage and be able to take more and better trades by actually understanding and participating in calls like this. So our distance between wouldn't necessarily fit the rules, so I'm not going to take it. But again, this is just like another trade that we looked at beforehand. You had the ability to enter and exit a trade off your own personal gauge. So Mariska, what do you think about it?
Couldn't find my mic. I took it for a 10 pip.
Right. That would be kind of one of those trades. If I was on, I would throw this on my demo account or take it for 10 pips, as opposed to really following the rules. I'm looking for, I'm just looking for bombs. Like I'm looking for A1 great trades, and I just want to have a strong track record on this data that I'm accumulating right now.
I think this was a great example. If you forget to zoom out,
true.
Where you're really tempted to just go with the arrow and go for it. It emphasizes that you really have to look at all the requirements, all the parameters. What is your trend? That is the first thing that you always need to identify.
Absolutely. Could somebody throw the link to the AIRO back chat in here? Somebody said, is there a Telegram chat? Absolutely.
Be right back. Gotta go deal with the grandbaby real quick.
Oh, it's all right. We understand. But back to the FTMO conversation, just because I get a lot of messages about this all the time. For me, I think that like you have to really look at why FTMO is such a major conversation right now. I usually trade all pairs. Yeah, I mean, these are the pairs that I trade. Is it too late to join the challenge? I think you have to ask Nate. Nate's first session is tomorrow night, not tonight. And asking the group chat, but I believe he made a separate group for just the Pacific FTMO challenge. But like I told Nate, the FTMO like is the goal for me. I think that him doing the FTMO is more to validate how well AIRO works than necessarily to make money and change somebody's life. Because if you look at what the rules are, everybody gets blown away by the number 100,000. They give me $100,000 account. It gives me $100,000 account. Like, what does that actually mean though? And if you look at the rules and you read them, it means like how they play the game is that you are getting $100,000 account if you pass the parameters. One, you have to pay, I think, $600 to do it. And then two, you go ahead, you have to meet these certain parameters. But what I don't like about FTMO is that they have a 5% max drawdown rate. So if they give you a $100,000 account, but they'll close out all your trades if you hit 5% drawdown, then you're not trading with a $100,000 account. You're trading with a $5,000 account. And then from that point, you have to split profits with that company based on your results with said $5,000 account. So it's more for me. I just stay away from things that feel gimmicky. I know a lot of people who have gotten FTMO who trade with the accounts, but it's like for me personally, I think that it shows better skill. In my opinion, if you can't take a $600 account to $5,000 without why would you want to have a $100,000 account? So it's like taking $600 to 5K using a strategy and whether it be AIRO or whatever it is your manual strategy is, like you would actually be able to keep more of that money because of that than paying $600 to get access to somebody else's $5,000 that you then have to split profit with them if you are profitable. So it's like, for me, I think that it's just a better spend to sharpen up your skill set, or you leverage other vehicles to get your own $5,000 so that way you can keep the majority of your money and then compound and be able to grow your accounts, especially when you're tied and connected to a platform just as solid as Auvoria Prime that has multiple ways for you to be able to bring in other streams of income. But go ahead, I apologize.
Yeah, I think you're right there. The better you become equipped as a trader, and you will be able to show a track record of about 18 months of trading with low drawdown. There are so many professional trading institutions that would love to hire you. You do not need a challenge for that.
Agreed.
I agree too, and I'm back.
It's just like that's like I just hear it so much that it feels gimmicky. Everybody's talking about FTMO, and when everybody's talking about something, it always raises my eye.
It's like the Holy Grail, like
Right.
they found the Holy Grail, and trust me, it isn't.
True. I'm actually in the FTM. I'm doing the trial FTMO challenge, but I'm only doing it because I wanted to see if I can trade within those parameters because they're different than what I do. So that's really what I'm doing it on. But there are trading institutions that you do not have to take a challenge for, that you can trade for them. So.
No, because one of the parts of those challenges is that you have to create a certain amount of revenue, which is totally contradicting to becoming a good trader. A good trader will not place a trade to chase the money. He will place a trade because the market is right. A huge difference.
Right.
That's good stuff right there. Funding talent. I'll totally take a look.
I have funding talent, actually. I do have funding talent. Oh, there's nothing wrong with them either.
For me, like it just goes back to what are you trying to do? Like if the goal of using the FTMO, funding talent, whatever it is, like if you're trying to make money, if you're trying to like increase the income that you have in your life, going the route of using a prop firm is not making you more money than really like trading seriously with $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 account and trading that up. Because if you're using those resources, you can't be set aggressive anyway. So your guidelines are tight regardless. I rather go and get a personal loan than go and use an FTMO challenge, because that money is mine now and I can grow it to whatever I want and make whatever decision it is that I want without needing to have somebody else's hand on it. But if realistically, I like the idea of beating the challenge of just saying, okay, I can trade within these parameters because I'm that good at using this strategy more so than from there. He said, so if everybody starts talking about AIRO, all right, let's get to that point. Like there's not millions of people talking about AIRO right now, but in all the Forex posts, all of everywhere in the world, it's blown way out of proportion. And because AIRO has 10 different strategies, going to be almost to 20 different strategies, the conversation that somebody would have about AIRO wouldn't be a pipe dream of, okay, I need $100,000 trading. It's okay, I use AIRO to trade S&P. I'll use AIRO to trade options. I use AIRO to trade GBP NZD. So nice try, but it was a good one.
Mhm. Oh, somebody had asked about brokers. I'd never suggest a broker. I always say just research who you can as much as you can.
Marissa, can you go over the 3 rules, the 3 things people should be looking for when looking for a broker? I think that you explain them the best. And then I always say reach out. You can reach out to any of us privately and ask about brokers and stuff like that. We definitely can't give out no advice on a call like this. There's like 3 or 4 main things that you want to find out when it comes to brokers. Mariska, can you break them down?
Yeah, it's very important that you look for an STP broker. That's a straight through processing. It means that any trade that you place will immediately be moved forward into the liquidity provider. That's very important. Secondly, you want to look for a broker that didn't just start 6 months ago. You want to look for a broker that has been around for several years, that has a good reputation. And to check their reputation, check out a website that's called forexpeacearmy.com. That's the one website that any broker fears, because when they mess up with withdrawals or anything else, if they are manipulating the charts, that will be addressed there. And the guys that are running that website are experienced traders, and they will invite a broker to respond to the complaints. They also have an actual court. You can take a broker to court there. And a broker doesn't appreciate if they are called out there for being unreliable or even fraudulent. So make use of that website. The only thing that I would like to say is learn how to read through all reviews, because a lot of people think that they get free money with a broker, the bonuses. The bonuses always come with small print. You will have to trade a certain number of lots before you will be able to withdraw your profits. So do not use the bonuses. Use your own money and then know that you will be able to withdraw what any profits you have made. It's forexpeacearmy.com. I will post a link in the chat. Bookmark that one.
It's a good one, and I have probably 3 different brokers that I use on my own that I have different. You know what I mean? Like you have different relationships with different brokers, or you use them for different reasons. But I've definitely used bad B-book brokers before that were put us in some sticky situations, and I've definitely learned from that.
Yeah, personally, I trade with a broker that has an insurance policy that if anything goes wrong on their platform, they're insured. Mm-hmm. That to me is really, really reassuring.
That's tough for American clients. The only brokers that are reassured for Americans are U.S. brokers that are only insured by the government. So it's like there's all there. That's a line for U.S. clients that is always tough, because those brokers usually don't have high leverage or offer indices and crypto.
That's the same in Europe, Donta. Europe is about as strict as the U.S. It has become much more strict in the last couple of years. But as always, and that's the same for US people, you are free to look for a broker outside of your country. And even then, there have to be some key elements that a broker must have. So even with an offshore broker, you want to be assured that they hold their client funds in segregated accounts. That's really a biggie. If it is an offshore broker, they shouldn't be out there advertising themselves like, hey, we accept you as clients. That's a no-go. They are not allowed to do that. And it's
lots of information.
They cannot even say like, we accept European clients. Not allowed.
Bonuses are a red flag. Yep, this is good stuff. Go ahead, Jackie. My bad.
Oh, no, 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 no. I was gonna say thank you for that, Marissa. I appreciate that. And I use Forex Peace Army as well too, all the time.
It always is my go-to website if I want to check out a broker.
Mm-hmm. Can you use Arrow on Thinkorswim? Mm-mm. It's
On
for
Thinkorswim?
MT4. Yeah.
What's that?
Thinkorswim is another trading platform. Arrow is built for MT4 only. So you can only access it through the VPS on the MT4 or that we have. So, but you can always put it on MT4 on the VPS and use that, and then you can also trade on Thinkorswim as well if you want to. Because it's like for other people that use TradingView. So Arrow is on MT4, but say you are hooked up through TradingView to do your trades as your trading platform, you can just utilize the alerts on Arrow and then trade through your trading platform if you want to. But I try to make myself a little easier, so I just stick to MT4, and I've kind of dropped Thinkorswim and TradingView.
Yeah, I've officially dropped TradingView too. I learned how to trade on TradingView, but I've definitely made that shift.
Yeah.
To analyze your charts, TradingView really is ideal, I think. But for the actual trading, I prefer MT4 all the time.
Somebody said they'll never leave TradingView. Oh God, yeah, I know what you do. I know what y'all talk about. But the only thing I think about it is this: since I'm trading on MT4 and arrows on MT4, what do I need to look at TradingView for?
Right. Just the markup would be the only reason, just to really, just like you said, I agree.
Oh man, look, I've been on this M5, waiting for this tag on arrow alert. It ain't coming. They playing with me. But you know what made me mad though? Like right before I had to go deal with my grandson. Don't you know a daggone alert came up on NASDAQ on the M5?
That's
I said,
funny.
oh man, missed it. That's okay. It's quite all right. Because technically I've made my pips for the week, by the way. So I'm already my live account, I'm already done. I made my goal for the week and I'm done. So this is fun time. Fun time. And trying to challenge myself. But I am looking for a nice oil setup. Have y'all ever traded oil before?
I've traded it on Wednesdays a couple times, never off my own strength though. I was just part of a community that was just kind of like using that volatility on Wednesdays to pick a direction.
Yes. I
And
love it that you said Wednesdays. That's
I
what
know
I be.
I know what's going on. I'm trying to tell you.
I love it. Yes, I trade U.S. oil. I've been trading that for 2 years. That's one of my favorites. But within the last year, as COVID hit, oil was doing really really nice up until the summer, and then the summer it kind of started ranging, no longer trending. I trend trade, so in case anybody don't know, that's why I love Arrow so much. Follow the trend, follow the money. So, but in like what is this in like a week or so when Nate drops that strategy, got a new one for y'all, and it's the one I use only on Arrow. It has to be a specific setup, and it's a linking that I created, and Nate's gonna drop it. He gave me credit, so I got two strategies for Arrow. I'm running neck and neck with Bobby Will.
Powerful.
So I got two strategies for Arrow that Nate gonna drop. So he already dropped the Fibonacci one, and this next one he gonna drop, I think in about 2-3 weeks he said. But yes, I use it only on oil, and each and every time I love it. It's just Arrow is awesome. I mean, I'm just so thankful that it's been made available, and we can all just bask in the loveliness of it because it makes trading so much easy. Not just like easier, but just fun. Like to me, I know that there's probably people on this call is like, I don't know, trading doesn't seem that easy, and maybe it's not. It don't seem like fun. Like I feel like I'm losing all the time, and you know what? That's a psychological thing. I think it took me some time to stop kind of blocking myself and just taking what is it is my guy Lex, he says, take what the market gives you. Don't try to get something from it. Just take what it gives you. Whatever the market is looking like today, just take what they give you and just try and catch your pips if you can. And then you may not always catch 20. You're not always supposed to hit 20. Maybe you only catch 5 or 10. Oh, look at that gold alert.
What's going
Look,
on?
y'all stopped me with my preaching. I saw gold pop up. Wait a minute now.
Yeah.
But even with these calls, you just bring back the fun in Forex. Too many people are frustrated because they have been trying for so long and didn't manage to become consistently profitable. Now we got AIRO.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Exactly.
really the best tool that I've ever seen.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I haven't taken a gold trade in a while, but I'm liking this right now. I ain't gonna lie, to the north.
Yo, you know what? Are we in an uptrend on the
We
M5? Let's check
are
a
in an
look.
uptrend on the M5.
Guess what? I'm hopping in. I'm doing it. Let's go.
Let's do it.
Hopping in. Bag entry trade, everybody. Strategy 1.
Mm-hmm.
That's very clear. You got the bounce from the zone. You know, now mind you, gold is a little different than NSC. So on
Yeah,
this
don't
one,
go out there with no real lot. All right, don't get your neck broke.
exactly, because you know, I personally, I just hopped in with a little .01.
Not mad at it.
I'm like, let me just see what it's been a while since I took a gold trade, you know. So I'm like, let me just go ahead and get your feet wet. Get your feet wet before you start swimming. It's been a while for me. We're gonna see what this do.
Let's see what's going on. So not to give any specific stop losses or take profits, but I will be looking. See, look at somebody already in the chat talking about where's I love people so much. Oh man.
Oh gosh. That's funny.
That is great.
Let's see here. I'm going by what does he say?
I'm taking it to like that 1842-ish kind of region. Somewhere around there.
I'm shooting for 25 pips. That's what I'm shooting for.
Try not to get in trouble. Y'all see this, right?
Yeah. I'm shooting for 25 pips. That's what I'm shooting for. I haven't done gold in a long time. But I'm gonna shoot for these 25 pips on this thing. Yeah, and you know what? I'm gonna just say this to y'all. When y'all get in, do what Dante showed y'all. Get that crosshair and measure to the zone.
He said, I'm locked in a trade on NASDAQ. I can't get in.
It's okay. The next one will come. The next one will come. From my position, I measured it as 33 pips to the zone. Mm-hmm. So, you know, I'm cool with 2025 and jumping out.
I took the 20 and I'm fine with that.
Yeah. Like, we ain't got to be going for 100 pips, y'all. Take your pips and run. 20 pips is just as good. Because guess what? How many times you get 20 pips 5 times in a row? You know? Look at it, things like that. I'm over here I'm making sure I have the right number in my thing here. Now, sometimes when I take my trade, I have a couple of people in my little group. They take the trade. Oh, I'm up 10 pips so far.
Yeah, we in profit.
Yeah, we in profit. So
right around that. So we're gonna see what's going on.
Absolutely.
But yeah, need 100 pips.
I was just gonna say, like, somebody in my group, I usually go for 20 pips plus a little extra, like a little pipette or so, to cover my commission, you know, with the broker that I'm using. That's how I normally do things.
I feel that. I think I lost a trade one time. It was by like a pip, like a half, like it had to be like 2-3 pipettes came from my take profit and reversed all the way down. That was the first loss I took on trading there.
No.
And like 90% of the folks had already got out because they hit their TP. And I'm looking at this trade like, there's no way. I was like, oh, time to switch brokers.
Yeah, exactly. The broker was the spread. Oh, I can't tell you how many times I got in that same situation where I'm in a trade. Oh, by the way, y'all, this has happened to me too. You know how like you taking a trade and say you getting close to the end of New York session, and then all of a sudden the chart freeze on you? Well, you forgot that the market closed for a little bit.
That's funny.
You know, and you in profit, but then when that thing opened up for that last half hour, you not in profit no more.
Mm.
That happened to me. I was like, man, that's why I try to make sure if I'm gonna hold a trade, I'll just hold the trade overnight. But I try to make sure I'm out the market before 4 o'clock for sure. I don't like
Definitely.
that. Oh snap, I'm almost there. Stop playing gold.
Mhm. It's only been a while since we took a gold trade, but I like it. It works.
It has been a while. Oh my goodness.
Trey said he gets out at 3 p.m. now. Trey been trading US 30 now for a while. He's been crushing it. It's funny. He said get out at 3.
There you go. There you
Mhm.
go. You know what I'm talking about. Because the only reason why I brought it up is actually having somebody recently. They were like, "Yo, what happened? The market closed. It's 4:15." Yeah, it closed for about 15 minutes. Clears up all them quotes. It'll open again at 4:30. And they were like, they were up 10 pips, and and that market reopened again. It was down 5. I was like, oh.
Mm.
As a habit, you gotta
Mind
be
my business.
careful. You gotta be careful. Then again, don't be trading outside the money zone either if you're on the F15.
For real. Look at gold too, shooting.
hmm
Folks should be in profit right now.
Totally. Look at that. There you go. Following the AIRO system. And
I
if
tell
those
you.
of y'all that's on the M5, y'all looking at it, somebody said something about W form.
I'm
Looks
just
like a
saying.
W to me.
Anybody that had that TP close to that night, you know what I mean, that 42 area, you it's close.
It's close.
Mm-mm.
I don't mind. Even if it don't even hit that 20, that 42 area.
Yeah, right. We already there, like pretty much.
I'll take what the market give me. I'll walk away with these 10 pips and keep it moving. Hey, somebody hit they take profit. That's good.
If they take profit, let's go. Love it.
Yes. See? We having a good old time.
They said I don't have gold on my market watch. How do I add it? Anytime you want to add anything to your market watch, you go to view up here. You bring your market watch back up. And then what I do is I just right click it and hit show all. And then I kind of go pick it from there. So I just right click, hit show all. It brings up all of them. And then I'll just go through and find what I need. 1842 inbound.
Yep.
Listen, if y'all hit y'all take profit, we need some excitement in the chat. I'm trying to tell y'all. And what it is that we're doing is very powerful. So don't be afraid to share. We want to build a community here to where once we win together, we want to let everybody know. So one of the methods that we use to share results is that we have a group on Facebook called the Auvoria Prime Testimonials Group. And it benefits all of us when we share our results inside of that group and just let people know how well AIRO is working and how simple and powerful it is. We're not on this call doing anything but taking the trades that are given us. But it's powerful. Somebody said TP's code. Listen. Hold on. I need this for the footage. Like, don't get it twisted. If you are in profit right now, utilizing this software, if you are in profit on gold right now, can I see some bags in the chat? If you are profitable on gold right now, let me see some bags
in
right
the
there.
chat,
Blue,
y'all.
that's what I'm talking about.
Y'all should all be in profit.
Love it. And this is just one trade. Like, we're going to take what's given to us. I want to see more. I want, obviously, I think that next week we'll have more trade opportunities as we kind of get out of this stickiness in January. So I'm glad that we were able to at least get into something that help people make some money.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, that's actually pretty nice.
Trying to tell you, yeah, I just hit my TP.
Yep, mine did too. Boom, there it goes.
It's a beautiful thing. It's a beauty. Listen, hold on.
Yep.
We need a
20 pip and dip.
That's great.
That's what we do.
I mean, that's AIRO though. Like, that's how it works. We identify the trend.
Mm-hmm. What's
I don't
that?
know if I made my chart a little freaky, but
10 minutes. There you go. What was that? 10 minutes?
10-minute trade, identify the trend, More greens than reds. Bounce, arrow, go. Boom. Simple as that.
TP smashed. That's what she said.
Oh,
TP
shit.
smashed.
I just need y'all. Can y'all post in the Facebook group? Can y'all like it's the worst. It's a crime when things like this happen and it's exciting and nobody shares it. Nobody knows. Can you go on your Instagram and make sure that you just let people know that you're on this live arrow call right now and tag maybe a couple of people that you know on the call. Tag Auvoria Prime on your Instagram. Like, we're about to change the game inside of this space, but it starts with everybody realizing what me and Jackie realized 3-4 months ago, which is that AIRO is really the simplest product I've seen in this Forex space to help people win. Never seen anything like it. And we need you guys collectively together. We're going to push this narrative and allow more people to get exposed to what it is we have here. When I started doing these calls weeks ago, there was 30 people on, 40 people on. We've slowly been growing every single week. So only thing I ask is that you guys just go and share the news, share the love. Tag me on Instagram at impact__Don. I will repost you. Just let people know that we're doing this and that this is exciting. And now you've been on here. I'm really getting value. It's bigger than just when you win a trade. Obviously, that's the most exciting. But I feel like there's a lot of value that Jackie was saying even before we even took that trade, which only was 12 minutes of this whole call. Like, we went on here for 2.5 hours. But I think that that's powerful.
I be preaching. I'm sorry. I be going.
I'll be on the same way. Listen, like, at the end of the day, this stuff is a lot of this is mental. So like the mindset that it takes to be a successful trader is beyond the system. It's just like I feel like a lot of gems we're really giving. Excited, Jackie. Excited.
Yes. I know a lot of people. You know what? I know a couple of things is like asking about the take profit of pips and the stop loss. No, well, I was just gonna say, I'm not too worried about the pips. You know, the set, like a set amount of pips take profit. I'm not really worried about that too much. So I would just say, don't worry about that so much. Just you know what? I will share my screen real quick.
All right, go ahead.
I'm gonna go to gold real quick so I can show somebody this.
Please give us some game.
And I'll tell y'all why I was just comfortable with taking 20 and dipping. That's what I'm gonna do. Let me see. Even though you could have took more. And then I think that's one of the things is you gotta learn when to kind of just not be all about the pips. So for instance, I got in like around here, I guess is what it was. And I took 20 pips and it got out at the 1842. So it made this little wick, but we got out at 1842. That's about 20 pips, right? Now, as you can see, this is a W forming, right? And when Nate will teach you there's a W forming in an uptrend, you might want to take it from 1, 2, 3, 4, last leg of the W all the way to the top, right? So, but I measured it. When you take the trade, remember you use that crosshair. You get in, I think I got in around about here or something like that. And then I said at the time, yeah, I measured it and I said it was about 33 pips to the zone, right? I ain't got nothing blocking me from this zone. So I said, you know, this is about 33 pips. Instead of me just shooting for 50 or shooting for 33, let me just go ahead and take 20 to 25, you know, because at least I'm more comfortable and a little bit more secure in 20 to 25 than hoping it hits this 30 or 50. You see what I'm saying? Especially when you're in this zone and it has it's a strong zone. So even if with that formation happening and you're typically taught, you know, you can take it all the way up to the top. And use a little caution. You know, if you're trading this, just take a little bit of a caution. You don't always got to go for the gusto. Just take a little bit, because I can tell you what, like I said earlier, you take them 20 pips and run, do that 5 times. How many pips you got now? 100 pips. Versus you hoping for just that one trade of 30. Keep that in mind, y'all. You don't always got to go for the gusto. But yeah, that does look nice though. Let me look at my S&P. That thing went then retrace down like a mug. You see that? And form this new wick. Am I worried about this trade? No, I am not. I ain't worried about this trade. Not in no way, shape, or form. I'm just going about my business.
Yeah, you guys will get more unemotional when it comes to trading as you get more experience. The last thing you want to do is, like, every time a trade is in drawdown and not going in your favor, be looking to think that you did something wrong or that a new decision needs to be made because you're in some drawdown. You gotta, it's tough, especially if you're talking about live money and like kind of controlling what's going on in your heart. I think that, but to get to that, that's why I love expert advisors, because it takes the emotion out of it sometimes, which leads people to mistakes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Even like my AUD USD, I think we were talking about that earlier, right? And you see how it has this downtrend, and they were asking me if I was going to get out of it. Well, remember I took the trade off of the H1, so I'm around here, and it's in this support zone still off of the H1, and I'm only down 11 pips. So I only went down like 4 pips from the last time we discussed it. Is that anywhere near my 100? Nope. Am I worried about it? Nope. Keep it moving. Not worried about it. Especially since I'm in a support zone here. I got support around me. I like that. That's just all the things you can look at when you're looking at candlestick formations and things like that.
Yeah, so it's a different mindset when you're trading on the higher time frame, which you want everybody to understand. So somebody just put 100 pip SL with a question mark in the chat. She took this trade off the H1. So if you go through your back office and go to strategy 2, he discusses more of a long-term trading strategy, which helps a lot of people too who can't stay up for London sessions. So Jackie prefers and trades off of the higher time frames, which I love, but it comes with another level of patience and allowing moves to be able to kind of play out, as opposed to a scalping strategy, which is more, okay, this didn't go in my favor, I get out the trade now. So it's just a different mindset.
Absolutely. Good point on that, Donta. All right, I'll start sharing. I see that check keeps blowing up.
EJ, I'm trying to see what's going on. Hold on, like look.
Let's see.
EJ.
How long term is the H1?
What's going on here? Let's zoom out.
What was it?
EJ. Oh yeah, this is lovely.
Ooh, look at that.
Shout out to whoever sent this in. If we get an arrow on EJ, that's
taking it.
Dramatic taking
it. Yeah. Well, we should get one here in the next.
I'm about to say, this next 9 minutes, we should get this arrow.
Let me set my chart up to get on EJ real quick. Let me set my chart. I don't have EJ in my little drop thing. Let me go ahead and put EJ on there. Let's see here. I'm getting myself ready. You ain't got to tell me twice. Especially not after my indices done made this nice big old move, and now it's just playing around. Time to go down lower and see what's going on. Ooh, that's gonna be beautiful. Let's see here. You got a free and clear too.
They don't get much better than that if we get an arrow.
Yeah, free and clear.
Marty was on it.
Yep. You know what? Somebody asked about the fib. I ain't showing the fib today, y'all.
We're not doing the fib today. We're gonna say that for let's go at least next week. Let's get through. Hopefully we catch some industry trades this week. But we trying to take it slow. We're gonna level up for everybody though, because Jackie's got the tools and the tool set. It's really about anytime we go outside of strategy 1, the level of questions and like what goes on. Like people are more confused. So we gotta take it slow.
Yes. Somebody asked, is EJ a sell? How many zones? You gotta look at the zones. And when you zoom out, compare how many pink zones you have to the green zones. And that will determine what trend you're in. And we're trading with the trend when we following strategy number 1. Let's see. I'm just going through the questions, see if we already answered. What constitutes 1 pip on gold? Shoot. 20 pips on gold is a $2 move. So I guess 1 pip is 1 cent.
10 cent.
10 cent, thank you.
No doubt. What is the next best strategy to learn after bag in terms of ease and probability? I think that bag is the easiest by far. Like for me, is have you taken 100 bag entry trades yet? That would be my next goal for anybody. Like before you learn another strategy, is prove that you can do the strategy that you think you have learned at a high level. And how you prove that with nothing else but data. So it's like data is your best way. So you want to start to accumulate your own data for your own strategy with it. So I would say like try to document 50 trades that you take with the bad strategy, see your win-loss ratio, and go from there. And before you expand, and it'll just be a lot easier, because a lot of times we move on before we necessarily lock in, understand, and have proven with a said strategy.
Crawl, walk, run.
Yep.
Don't be in a hurry to move to another strategy before you master the first one.
Absolutely. Don't end up well.
And then go live with the one that you're mastering and demo on a new one.
Yep. Look at you, Marissa, coming through.
This is silver. I don't like silver. We just got an alert. I'm good
on that. Did we? I just put silver on my chart too.
Got it on the 5.
Yes.
It's not it. Gold was much better.
Yeah. Oh, I see it now. Oh.
I want that EJ arrow. I ain't gonna lie. Like, that is lovely.
5 minutes. 5 minutes.
I bet you we got one on the 5 minute too.
Yeah, probably. A strong one.
Last one. Yeah, not great though. Let's see. We'll wait it out.
I'm looking too.
Brent said EJ will have an arrow. I'm manifesting it.
Oh, dang, that's a strong move on the M5 that it did though.
I know, that's a lot that happened. I'm like, ooh, let's see. We're gonna find out.
Oh, somebody asked about the candle colors. Why Nate say he taking away the candle colors? He was simplifying things. That's what he told. That's what I heard.
Yeah, because people ask too many questions and they get confused.
Yeah, they're like, why salmon versus dark red? He just wants to make it a lot more easier for everybody. Yeah.
How come I have more zones than you? Everybody's broker is different, so it's like, because of that, where price is at actually for each trade, it can be slightly off. It's usually not like way off, maybe a zone or two missing. That's different, but it's that would be the only thing that's different, is based on broker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Based on different brokers. I know I've had that same thing.
Yeah, and there can always be a difference between a live account and a demo account as well.
That too.
Yep.
Great example, when the market opened on Sunday, I looked at the Bitcoin chart, both on a live and a demo, and the demo really had crash, drop back to 21,000. Didn't happen on live.
Interesting. What you doing on Bitcoin, Marissa? Don't think I ain't catch that now. What you doing
I
on
am a
Bitcoin?
crypto addict as well. There's so much happening in the space.
It sure
It
is.
really is.
Sure is. EU and EA look like they kind of correlated with EJ. What do you think?
You said EU and EA. Let's see.
I don't like EU. Everybody already know how I feel about that thing.
Listen, man, I can't throw no shade on EU. I had I had a couple of my biggest days playing.
That's your bread and butter right there.
I ain't gonna say bread and butter, but like, if I'm not even gonna say a number, but the what happened,
it treated you right.
Listen, EU's, I don't know if EU's downtrend. EU's downtrend. Yeah, we got 5 versus 3. So
bread and butter and cheese, right?
He's got a point though. You do have room for EU. Would definitely be a bag entry if we got a down arrow there. Let's see EA. Not for me. EA might be uptrend. I gotta see though. I can't even find.
Oh no, I think it's a downtrend, but ain't that arrow gonna be a while if you were looking for something to go down.
Yeah. You need this thing to turn around. Had our lay EU and EJ look closer to ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody said they hopped in EJ already.
Well, dang. Okay. Now for everybody, if y'all hopped in, Okay. My question is, what made you hop in?
I seen two folks that they hopped in. I'm like,
He said, I love gusto. I can
dude,
tell you,
crazy.
I had one of my peeps trade yesterday. They hopped into something, and I gave them the side eye. I posted in the chat side eyes. I said, "Why'd you jump in this? What's your reason? If you can't give me a reason, then I don't know why you jumped in there."
So we got 3 alerts. None of them were EJ. So we got ACAD first. Let's see what's going on.
I probably need to get the same pairs that y'all got, so I can get the same alerts too.
I just want to see everything. So for me, I have a lot up here, but realistically, it's not like we're in a bunch of trades. I just like to look at each one so we can just give an analysis of what I take it or not. First thing you're doing, obviously checking your trend, ran a downtrend. We did get a sell arrow. And we do have a nice bounce here. The issue is that we're in the zone and too close to our next zone. So I wouldn't take this trade because we're currently in this zone here that it clearly has a bunch of support. So I would not take this trade for ACAD. G Chef, one up, one down. G Chef first.
That was ACAD off of the M15.
That was ACAD off the M15, yes.
Let me go ahead and mosey on over to that chart. Excuse y'all for a second. I saw something on there that I want to peek at.
We are in an uptrend here on G Chef. My issue is that your next, I'm going to measure the pips here. It looks a little too tight though. Yeah, it's just at 20, and realistically, where price is at now, if you were to enter, it'll be less than 20. It'll be like 13 or 14 pips. So I wouldn't take it. You would. This is close though. Like if we'd have jumped on this right when it opened, maybe, but I'm not going to chase it now. That price is already kind of moving in our effect in that way. This would have been a win though. You kind of entered immediately, but then we looked at ACAT first. GJ, I don't think. Let's see. Yeah, uptrend, down arrow, no bueno. Hopefully a bank conductor. Funny. I can't wait for y'all to learn.
Did somebody say so? I heard bank induction. I jumped right back. What y'all say?
I was just saying that it could be a anytime I see a arrow going into a zone against a trend, I'm always now like, is that one of the banks? Like I just kind of, he said Chef JP.
Oh, on the AUD CAD, right?
Oh, I didn't even see Chef. Yeah, he said AUD CAD. Oh no, but that was a GJ I was looking at. But let me look at Chef JPY. I didn't see that one.
Oh.
We may be good on this. Ooh.
What's that? Let me see. Hold on.
Chef JPY. Hate chasing trades, but this is a good one. I hate it because it's like we're already kind of heading in the direction. So I don't want to late, you know what I'm saying? You have your distance, you're in the downtrend. We may have to let that thing roll though. Yeah, I'll take it for like 10 or 12 pips. That's a great call, Ven and somebody else who called this out. So I'm gonna enter this trade real quick. I'm only going for like 12 to 15 pips.
Jason is saying EJ, I think he was the one that jumped in ahead of the time.
What you said?
He said, "Thank you, goodness," or whatever he said.
I'm mad we didn't get the EJ arrow. We all staring at it.
I know. I ain't gonna lie though. I am testing out that Aussie CAD thing right now as a bank induction joint. I'm seeing this will be my first time trading that pair.
Yeah, I got my TP in that like 116.7 area. Give me like a nice little 13 to 15 pips kind of a vibe.
Oh, on your Chef JPY? Oh, okay, yeah. I see it.
I hate chasing trades though. Like that is really something that bugs me. If I feel like I missed it, I'm so much better being like, I missed it. Because anytime you chase, you know what I mean? I feel like it's running from you. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
If you see it late, just take a lower TP.
Correct. That's exactly. I'm with you.
Simple. Don't get stressed ever.
I
But
hear that.
Mariska said, just take the money and run. Just go.
Yeah, very simple. Money is money.
Yes. I'd rather walk away with some pips than no pips.
I'm with it. We in there.
Look at that.
Let
Mariska
that
coming through with the knowledge and the gems. Look at her.
trying to tell you.
Let me see where I'm at. Now I'm doing a test trade right now. I did the Aussie CAD off the bank induction. That's what I did. So we're gonna see how that works. I ain't never trade this pair before in my life.
Just checking things out.
Just checking things out. So don't y'all follow me now.
Not on that one. What y'all learn the bank induction though? When that comes out, I'm really looking forward to catching like higher time frame moves with the bank induction. Yeah, that part. Excited about that. And learning and practicing on demo more myself with it.
Yes. Yeah, I'm doing that. Let's see how that turn out. I need to make sure I get the same pairs y'all running so I have it on my chart.
I'm telling you, if you use Finviz, it's easy because you just go through at the bottom and just mix and match whatever it is you're working with here.
Okay.
Yeah, so that way I don't feel like I missed any. I just go through like, okay, what are the euros? Euro AUD, Euro GBP, Euro CAD, you know what I mean? And then just kind of knock it out.
Nice. He said pepper jack cheese. Jason must be a comedian on here.
You must not know Stu just yet. Pretty brought him up. That's funny.
Let's see here. I love it. I enjoy trading with others. I've been trading by myself for so long. It's just such a nice experience to be trading with others and all like-minded individuals. It's
Likewise.
fun.
Really feeling great about it. And look at EJ doing what we knew she was going to do.
And no daggone
no AIRO, Lord. Why couldn't we get that? That is a lock right there.
Oh, man, yeah.
Let's all complain to Nate. Why didn't we?
I'm like, bro, the software's broke. Like, what are you doing?
That's hilarious.
Oh gosh.
I wonder they pop out in the chat.
I wonder if somebody did get an AIRO and it would just be our brokers, because I could tell you somebody probably did get one. And I'm like, well, my broker gave me an AIRO.
Brent said he caught it on the M strategy. He said, why did that happen? Well, because you don't have, I mean, we're not determining when the arrows pop up. It's just kind of like our opinion to say, okay, we think an arrow will pop up in that situation when we see momentum. So it's not like it has to come each time there's a move that happens in the market.
Right, that's true. Shout out to whoever caught that.
Take that comment that the software is broke. Don't take that seriously.
yeah, that was sarcasm. Oh, shout out to whoever just caught that off of that M strategy, though. Good for you. Better than
I was
me
expecting Nate to pop up in the chat out of nowhere, like, follow the rules. I was telling you, man.
Yes. Absolutely. That was beautiful. People wait. Interesting. It might be because it's time of day too. It's like 11:30 now. They ain't slowing down. People getting ready to go to lunch.
Yeah, right. Go ahead and get my day started now after we hop off of this. Excited. So we got the gold trade. We're gonna let CJ play out.
Yeah. I think something else popped up on mine. Let me just check and see what it is. Let's see here. No, don't like that. I think I'm gonna take silver off my chart. I don't like the way that look at all.
Yeah, it is looking real ugly right now. I've been looking at buying silver as like a real asset though, just having some on the in general.
I have some. Wait a minute. Can you? I think you can get silver by the bullion. I believe. Correct? I don't know. I can't remember. I have some gold bullion though. You know, just
it comes by what is it? I gotta look at this thing. I literally just last night started to really research, and I found a way I'm gonna be able to get some silver. And I'll reach out to you afterward. We'll chop it up about it.
Cool. Thank you. Because I think I had something before it was an exchange, but I couldn't remember what it was. Silver Saver is what it used to be called. I can't remember now.
Yeah, I was looking at this one that was like you kind of like take a little buy a little bit every couple of months, kind of like back up long term. I'm like, yeah, I like that. I want some other assets.
Let's see here. I'm just going through the questions too, making sure I try and make sure we answer all as much as we can. Let's see here. Somebody asked about what's the account size should be for indices. Ooh, that's a tough question.
Well, you the industry queen. You gotta go ahead and give them something.
Well, I'll tell you what. You know what? It depends on the index, honestly, and it depends on your skill level. I'm gonna just say that. Don't come trading on indices and you brand new to this. Don't do that. Practice first. But you can safely, and I'm talking about with the smallest lot size, you could probably do an indice safely with like $100, $250 account. Now Nate is a G, and I know he flipped something with $50, but even I wouldn't do that. I would say about, and I'm talking about S&P 500 only. Now, if you want to go to the other indices such as NASDAQ, and I think you need to double it. And then US 30, I don't even talk about that, because the drawdown is what you have to pay attention to when you're dealing with the index. So the currency drawdowns are is different. You're dealing with 40 pip stop loss. It's a little bit easier if you're on a 0.01 on $100. It's $4. It's fine. But 40 pips stop loss on 40 pips on US 30, you could hit that in 1 minute and blow an account. So that's why it's a little different with dealing with the indices and your trading account size. But S&P 500 is a little more easygoing, and I would say 250 is cool. I mean, you could try 100, but 250 is cool. And small lot sizes. Stick to small, but only do it after you demoed it and have really mastered bag strategy. Bag strategy number one off of it, and then you should be fine. But you can always come and ask me questions on it later. And actually, matter of fact, a lot of people send me screenshots of what they draw or what they think is a strategy. I mean, a entry, and you can always get some help with that too. But that would be my suggestion on those. I'm trying not to specifically give any financial advice or anything.
No, I feel that 100%.
But not to say though, US 30 may not be on my small account trading, but I do try and tackle that with larger accounts though. That's my goal. You know how you have what's his name with the whale? What's his name with the great white whale? Oh crap! Y'all know what I'm talking about. The daggone tail. Okay. US 30 is my white whale, y'all. Moby, thank you.
Moby.
Yes, US 30 is my Moby Dick. That's my white whale. I'm trying to master and catch and tackle.
That is hilarious. They said, what time frame do you trade indices on? Nate recommends the 5, but Jackie trades on a higher time frame with them, kind of like correlates it a little bit. So I think that just kind of staying tuned with Jackie on as we do these calls. It's going to be big time value for you all.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I say
how do I sleep?
demo.
How do I sleep with trade the indices overnight? Following the rules. That's how I'm doing it. Following the rules.
Somebody asked a good question. They said, do they close positions at the end of the money zone if it's in profit? For me, I usually let them run because if you took the trade inside of the money zone, it's not unvalid now because you're out of it. But I'll just kind of maybe monitor, check in what's going on. But when you set your stop loss and you take profit, it's not like your decision is already made, what you're willing to risk or lose. So closing the trade is not to say it's the wrong or right thing to do. It's more of a personal choice. Mm-hmm. Does AIRO look the same on the phone? Oh, yeah. When you do the RDP version, yeah, it'll be exactly this on your phone.
Yeah.
What a day.
Is your chef JPY still running?
Yeah, let me see. Where's that? It's in that entry, I guess. I'm in it on my phone, not on this account that I'm trading on here. Let me look. Yeah, down a couple pips.
No, the cat is down 2 pips. So it look like it's coming back up. We're gonna see on this next 15-minute candle what it do. It just made the low of the day, so I'm feeling pretty good about that thing coming back in my favor.
There you go. EJ Sell. We
Look
in there.
at that. Right on point. Where my EJ? Dang it, where'd you go? There we go. Let's see.
Gonna probably be our last trade of the day. Needed that.
That thing was too pretty.
All right, so for EJ, I'm going for the 20. So I'll be somewhere around this 125.7 area.
Yep.
For my stop, and again, this is also good information as you're trading. So for me, like your technical, like 40 pip ish stop loss will put you up here ish, like around this area. But for me and my own personal trading, like if I were to be watching this and price were to come all the way back up to the zone, like I would close the trade out before I would let it get to my 40 pip stop loss, for a couple of reasons. Like if a green zone were to pop up here and price were to come back up in this area, like it would be multiple things to be like, okay. So I'll take a trade. The losses that I have taken using AIRO have rarely been a 40 pip loss that the trade just completely reversed and gone all the way up, if you know what I mean. I said it was the first time here. Thanks for everything. Wait till next session. No problem. We'll see you all back on tomorrow. And then tomorrow night, Nate will be live again. So it's like we're trying to bring as much education hours to the table as we can. Don't be hesitant to share this news with somebody, to share, but get somebody on the call to show them what we have going on, to, you know what I mean, to share the news, because there's it's gonna be a lot of people finding out about what we're doing here in Auvoria Prime very shortly. I'm looking at this GU trade too. We're looking at this when I first hopped on the session. And I was saying that I would love for this to pop and have an AIRO here as well. I'll take GU up. But it was kind of just playing this whole session. So nothing's happened until just about now. So I would love to see, even though we're going to hop off, I'd love to see at noon if this candle closes and we get an up AIRO, taking that too. He said, can I check EJ? What am I checking? We just checked it. Oh, EG. Gotcha. I'm like, wait, did I miss something? EG is also down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't like it as much. I'm not. Go ahead, Mariska.
It's not a bounce.
Yeah, your bounce isn't as clear. As a man, if you're looking at it, you're within 5 pips. I wouldn't be blown away if somebody were to take this, but I don't love it as much as our other ones. And I mean, yeah, your bounce isn't clean. So it's like, because of that, you don't want to take or force every trade. Yeah, David, I believe G is going to break it. I'm just waiting on that next AIRO, and then which we won't get until noon Eastern. And then if it were to come, and then at that point, we'll be hopping off this call. But if GU has an AIRO up, I'm taking that 20 pips. To each his own.
This has been a great call. So much value from Jackie. Love it.
That's incredible.
Aw, thanks, guys.
Same time, same link, Juan.
Yeah, I'm having so much fun. And tomorrow's Wednesday, too. Y'all know about Wednesdays. All that lovely news. Love news.
Oh, it's a lot of news tomorrow?
Well, on my oil, yeah, definitely. That 10 o'clock report.
Is the inauguration tomorrow or Thursday? It's Thursday?
I believe it's
Oh, nah,
Thursday.
yeah. No, that's tomorrow.
Thursday.
Damn.
Oh, it's tomorrow?
21st, right?
Oh, 21st.
Oh,
Okay. So what's all this? Says
yeah,
he's
what
speaking
is all
about.
that?
Is it tomorrow or is it Thursday? Am I tripping?
I'm tripping now. That's,
Oh, crazy markets then tomorrow.
It is tomorrow. Oh yeah, tomorrow's gonna be wild. I'm gonna be careful tomorrow. Believe that.
oh.
Believe that.
Oh, we're gonna have some fun. Love momentum.
Yeah, this is gonna be interesting.
Man. Ooh. I'ma really love what my indices do tomorrow then. I don't see what's up with that. Shoot that off to the moon. I had somebody message me. They said they had a zone somewhere. I said we already talked about how some people got zones and they don't. Depends on your broker.
Yeah,
And
that's one thing we're gonna get a lot, Jackie, is just people jumping into the calls at different times and miss certain points. So what we ask guys, people who are on the call, if you see somebody ask a question, we're gonna get to most things that we see, but some of them, like the ones that are slightly redundant, we're just gonna kind of refer back to the other information, or like at the core, we're basing all of our rules based on what Nate has told us. So we want to make sure that we're all leaning on that, but we've tried not to like go over the same questions like 20 times in the same call, and just doing what we can to serve the community.
absolutely. I want to see all of us win.
I see a nice question. Can we join your team? Guys, let's be honest. You have used to AIRO or to Auvoria Prime by someone. Join that someone, and you'll still be very welcome on these calls. So you can enjoy everything that Donta brings, that Jackie brings, that all the other coaches will bring. Let's stay ethical. Join the person who introduced
whoever got you on, whoever introduced you to AP, get their sign up link from them. But the point of Jackie being elevated to an official Warrior Prime educator is so that her influence goes beyond her team, and she is available to like we're doing this to so that way the educator, because there's going to be educators and other people's teams that are going to step up. We just some guy who just joined with our company as a guy's made over $10 million trading, and I'm sure he's going to be taking a major educational role as well once he gets more ingrained into the community. My point being is that we're all here to help each other. So it's not like anybody in AP. There's people not in AP that's getting value off of this call right now. So definitely those inside of the community.
Well, those who are not inside of AP and getting value of this call, make sure that you find someone to be able to become part of AP.
Yeah.
Your message here. This is a community that you definitely want to be a part of if you're serious about your trading future.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more.
And don't forget to buy your tickets, you all.
Buy your tickets for what, Mariska? What they getting tickets for?
The kickoff events. We're kicking off 2021. You'll hear all the excitement, the path that we're going with the company, new products, developments, APTV, so many people speaking, so much value to be taken from that day that even if you're not inside the business opportunity, you get a lot of value. And I think also being a customer, it's important to know where we are going as a company.
Absolutely. I think that everybody who's a part of this community needs to be at this event virtually on January 30th. That is in 11 days from today. Go ahead and get your tickets and set aside time for you to be a part of this and see what's going on, because there's going to be one of my mentors said this to me right when COVID first kind of came around. He came to me, told me, and you're going to hear from him too at the event, but he was talking about how there's going to be more like wealthy people created out of this season of what's going on with everybody being forwarded and having a new interest in making money from home, having interest in making money from internet, things like that, and that more millionaires and billionaires are getting created in this season right now than ever before. And I believe that because there's so much available to people and that there's so much opportunity that's right here. So very, very excited. And I think that to really get the vision of what it is that we have, it will be almost just it will be beneficial to your life big time to be at that event. For sure.
Showing up is half of your success.
I love it. I absolutely love it. So we'll go ahead and wrap up this call, guys. We're sitting in the CJ trade, the EJ trade, and then I'm looking forward to getting into GU. If we are to get an AIRO, if we don't get an AIRO, I won't take it. and kind of calling it a day. And then we'll see you all on the same link again tomorrow. And then tomorrow night, Nathan has his first session as well. So many, many blessings. I hope you guys got some value out of this call. Please let somebody know if you made any profits today on today's call. Don't be shy about it. Go ahead and post in our Warrior Prime Facebook groups and share with your
or comments. Comments on a post that's already there.
Absolutely. Yeah. If you see a post that's already AIRO about these AIRO calls, can you comment and say, hey, listen, it's great. I made some money. I've dropped some bags in the car, something. Dudes, just help us out as we go and out of our way to make sure we're helping the people out as much as we can. So I appreciate you all. I pray that you all have a great remainder of your day. We'll see you tomorrow. Same link, same time.
Thank you all.
Bye.